to episode 141 of the Battlecast podcast. I'm host Caleb Peng, and finally, I'm joined by my co-host with a real microphone, and we're not having scuffed audio for the next 2+ hours.
Yeah,
Welcome
you see
in.
how I dodged bringing out the microphone in Japan.
Yeah, why did you?
By
Why
just
did you dodge
recording in
so
the
hard?
UK. Well, okay, I mean,
You're
I
just too
did
lazy
have
to
a
hold
lot of packing to
microphone.
do. I had a lot of packing to do. Yeah.
What do you mean you had a lot of packing to do? You were just in Japan for like a few days. What do you mean? What's the packing you need to do in Japan? You're just living out of a suitcase.
Yeah, but then like when you live out the suitcase and you're pulling things out, and then like because I didn't have I didn't like put them in proper places, yeah. So there was that part, but then also actually the other part was I was already full on both my suitcases when I arrived to Japan, and I only bought more things, so I kind of had to like see how to navigate that. And then there was like some other stuff I had to do, like I had to cancel gym, but like I had to actually go to the gym to cancel it, which was long. And then
wait, what? You had to cancel a gym? What do you mean? In Japan? I'm so confused.
Yeah. I got a gym membership in Japan while I was there, but like it was like this intro membership, yeah. So it was like a free trial for like, well, it wasn't free, but it was like a trial for like the equivalent of £5 for the month, yeah. So I signed up to that, but the caveat was that like if you discontinue it, you actually have to do it in person. So I had to actually like go there and then come.
This is like the weirdest excuse I've ever heard for not setting up a microphone. I signed up for a temporary gym membership. I had to cancel in person, so I couldn't have set up a microphone for 3 weeks when I was in Japan.
Yeah, you see
2
butterfly
weeks, whatever,
effect,
however long. Oh my goodness.
Sometimes things happen.
This guy, you know what? Impressive, I gotta say. Never short on excuses.
Yeah.
But,
you're gonna love the excuses later on.
Oh, I can't wait! There's some stuff to talk about. We're in a what? What's that? Wonderful land? One World of Wonders?
I don't even know what it's
World
called.
of Wonders?
Is it World of Wonders?
I don't know. It kind of looks like I'll be honest. It kind of looks a little bit like a Candyland like ripoff for like.
Oh, do you think it looks like flipping the little
like
Willy
something.
Wonka experience?
Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
A little bit.
The one from like.
Let me look this up. World of Wonders. Let me see.
Did you see the one
Pokemon
a couple weeks ago? The one that was in like Glasgow, and there was just.
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh my gosh, the unknown. Yeah. What the heck was that? I mean, honestly, Willy Wonka was looking way worse than Pokemon Go in that respect.
Unknown soon coming to Pokemon Go.
Yeah, it looks a lot. It looks a lot like it. I mean, I don't know. It's not. It's just colors. I mean, there's flowers, right? I'm not saying like anyone that designed this was ripping off Willy Wonka, but it does. You know what? The thing that also doesn't help is the W. There's double W, right? World of Wonders, right? Willy Wonka. So like that probably in itself is already kind of making people draw some conclusions that they probably don't. Yeah, the double W is.
There was songs in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? Because there's that
Honestly,
one that's like,
I've like never. I don't think I've ever seen that movie from beginning to end. I just like there were definitely songs because the Oompa Loompas were singing, but
true.
I've never.
I imagine there's some sort of.
Yeah, I wasn't like the.
Wonder in the song.
Like it was a cool concept, but I never was like a huge fan of that movie, so I don't know. Can't speak too much on it, but anyway, before we get to World of Wonders, let's get into the YouTube comments from last week. Let's go from there. We got our first comments from Conky about Cloudfire, of course. Actually, spoiler, I've been running Cloudfire in GBL this weekend. It's been killing it. But Conky says, Cloudfire has awkward moveset, but don't worry, it's still strong and they can always buff water pulse. After a buff to water pulse and the verdict from Anicor himself, Cloudfire has an awkward moveset. I think if they got rid of Acid Spray and Surf and kept Poison Jab, it would have been the best version of itself. Fast move damage with high energy moves, no debuffs, kind of like Tentacruel. That'd be interesting. For sure. I mean,
do you know what I think makes it awkward here, though? I think
Poison Jab's cool because you could run Mud Shot if you want the higher energy generation too.
Yeah, true.
Because unless Conky's saying get rid of Much Shot and Poison Sting, but I think having the option to go either, like that'd be like Toxic Specs if you could run like mud shot talk specs over
That'd be
poison
too
jab?
much. Yeah.
Would that be too much?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what
Well,
we're
I
proposing
feel
for
like
Kotsai,
mud.
right?
Yeah, maybe you're right. Doesn't say like mud shot sludge wave sounds like a lot, but yeah, maybe
What?
it's
Why
not
does it
bad.
sound like a lot? Like a lot, like too much energy, or like too
No,
overpowered?
as in like it sounds pretty good. But actually, then again, though, I guess that's kind of like what a Cresselia is, isn't it? So maybe it's not the best.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I think it might be even worse into stuff like Minibuzz. I'm pretty sure like
Yeah,
the poison jab sludge wave variant is way better than a mud
it's
shot.
true.
Like
It's
you might
true.
have to throw like two, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like so with in terms of the awkward moveset, I feel like what has made it awkward now. So remember, right? Like sometimes the meta around something can change something as well, right?
yeah.
And I think the thing that's been most impactful is the rise of Mantine, where it's like you don't want to run Earthquake Water Pulse because you're gonna get walled by that. And it's like do you know what I mean? In it, you're back into the kind of Gligar situation where it's like, well, if it runs Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, then you get walled by that. You know, so if
So
Mantine wasn't that prevalent, then I think maybe Earthquake Water Pulse would be
you're worried about
completely fine. You know,
Mantine? I don't think Mantine's that strong in this current meta either.
bro, did you see the flipping regional on the weekend?
The Brawley
The
regional,
Broly
the
regional.
Brawley regional is the worst example you could have came up with for this meta.
No, but you know what? I think it's still I think it still holds true based on like
In
what
this
I mean. We'll
upcoming
discuss
one,
this later in it, but
yeah,
I
we'll
think I
discuss it
think it still
later.
holds relatively true in it. But
Well,
yeah.
funny enough, I have been running the Sludge Bomb Earthquake variant
Oh,
this week in
oh,
GBL.
so
Kalki also says, I don't hate Clodsire. To clarify, I wanted it to be good. I hate the craziness that was the clamoring for a massive nerf before it was released based off of Sims only. They had an entire infographic and everything made to nerf an unreleased Pokemon. Like, come on. Fair point. Fair
yeah,
point.
true.
You know, by no coincidence, following up
T
that,
Wastel.
we got to come from T Wastel. This comedy writes itself, man. No, but for real though, the very following comment after, not under Groggy's post, but just in general on our YouTube video is Tiwasa says, I think you guys might be I think he means underestimate. He said understanding. Underestimating Gallade. The thing is going to be super spammy to Leaf Blades and close combats and will hit like a truck, especially the Shadow. Don't think it'll be a meta staple by any means, but I can see some players having success with it here and there. It'll also be a budget fighter for Ultra Premier. That's
Hey,
actually a good point,
let
and
me
I've
clear
actually,
the air. Yeah, when he says you guys, yeah, he's speaking about you. Yeah, because I was not underestimating that thing.
yeah,
'Cause,
in all honesty, when I heard that it actually could beat Annihilate in certain situations, I was like,
yeah, it's
oh,
kind of wild.
okay. And honestly, I was
I
actually
guess it makes
running in
sense.
some scrims today, some show
Yeah,
6 scrims. So, like, because I have a cup to some good weekend, so I
yeah,
was like
yeah.
messing around with some stuff, and I did peak some Gallade, and
Mhm.
okay, I take it back. I take it back. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. But Shadow for Alligator, 2 shields up. Yo, you just shadow call that thing down. You don't even. And the thing is, you could throw a Hydrocan to force him to shield and
Yeah,
still shadow call them down after that. You don't have to go straight shadow call. So you could grab a shield, so you're only down by 1 shield, come out with like 100 energy on Shadow for Alligator, and nothing wants to eat that energy. Not even Lantern, in my opinion. But um, anyway, that being said, I'm glad no one made a graphic on Gallade. The Pokemon bans, the play Pokemon bans are outright bans, just bans on those specific moves, so you can still run Starmie as long as your Starmie doesn't have quick attack.
mm,
Okay, that's
yeah.
good to know. And then the rule change won't have any impact on PJCS because PJCS is outside of play Pokemon and has its own rules. That's actually,
Oh,
I forgot about that. But we don't know what those
okay.
rules are, right? And they
We have no
probably have no
idea.
reason to even disclose that right now because they don't have.
Nah.
When do the Japanese tournaments start?
So
For
they're starting this season, but they still haven't announced
the
anything.
dates, yeah.
Like they literally haven't announced anything. All they've announced is PJCS, and that's it. Like
Mm,
it's going to happen that day, and that's all they've announced. But they haven't
yeah,
announced the format. You know, whether they're going to be doing the same thing as last year or if they're going to be
right.
changing it or anything like that. So yeah, there's literally no
Would you
information.
change the APAC qualifier or like the APAC tournament stuff that you're running to mirror their format essentially once they release it if it's different than
Um.
whatever you're doing right now?
So yes and no. The so at the moment it's like like the Japanese region, their stuff is like under their discretion, and also the Japanese region has already started, so they've kind of locked in. But also, assuming that the pre-qualifiers to PJCS is that whole best of one thing, there's no way we're going to do that. Like, nobody likes that, and realistically, it's like, I guess if you want to practice best of one, just GBL, right? I don't know if there's too much merit into practicing show 6
That's
best
true.
of
That's
one,
true.
you know?
I was thinking more so like
Um,
the other like Asia qualifiers and stuff too.
so I mean, with the Asia qualifiers, I well, I mean, we'd be starting beforehand anyway, so
Yeah.
probably not. But also, I think it's very likely that they won't be moving away from
Yeah.
best of 3 open team sheets. So I don't think it'll be too much
So
of an issue.
I actually, out of curiosity, so they have a Swiss, like they have a 2 weekend thing for the Asia, not
Mhm.
PGCS or Japan, but for the other
Yeah.
APAC region. What they do is, let's say India, for example, they'll
Mhm.
do a Swiss tournament on the first weekend, and then like top whatever, top 16,
Yeah.
top 8, whatever, move on to a double elimination, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So how do they do that for double elimination? Do they just start off? Everyone starts on the winner side, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
whoever swept the Swiss gets no type of advantage outside of maybe seeding, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you'd
Uh,
probably, yeah. So whoever swept would probably be playing like whoever came
got
last.
that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that would be it.
There's
Yeah.
like pros and cons about that because I think I saw I don't know, I saw in some Discord or something, but people were talking about like the locals are like that except a single elim, right? So it
Yeah.
was like Sadasan like swept like a Swiss round and he just
Yeah.
lost first round in the single elim and got like top 4 instead of like, he had no advantage going into the
Yeah.
single elims outside of seeding. Well, I mean seeding is something, right? It's not nothing,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I
I
don't know what
think
the
it's
solution is
yeah.
around
I
that,
guess it's
right?
more difficult with single elim because you only have that one opportunity.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I guess it's like sports, right? Like a lot of
yeah,
sports is like that, where like in the regular season you could lose some and still qualify for playoffs, but playoffs
mhm,
is like it's
that's
it,
it.
right? If you lose any
Yeah,
game, you're out, right? So
that's it.
I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, I know maybe not a lot of Pokemon Go people play
yeah.
sports, but but from a sports analogy side of things, it's
Mhm.
very similar in their tournament brackets. And I mean,
Do
I
you know what
know
is
esports is
interesting
not
actually?
sports, but it is mirrored off of
Yeah.
some of their formatting for a reason.
So one thing that is interesting that I learned just over this weekend, and I can't remember the exact like thingies around it, but I'll try and relate. But basically, when you have I don't know if this applies for challenge, so I'm assuming it's just for a cup. If
Yeah.
you have a certain number of players, so I believe it's like if you have in between 17 and 21 or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, then it's like an awkward number where some people who top cut won't get points. Yeah, I can't remember the exact thingies about this because I didn't prepare to like
Mm,
bring it up. But basically, there was a situation, for example, in the cup on the weekend,
yeah.
um, at the regional, where some players who top cut didn't get points.
What was top
Um,
cut for then? Top 8?
yeah, yeah. So go into like I think might have been top 8 or might have been top 4 or
We
something.
should be able
It
to
was
look this
probably
up
top 8. Yeah.
actually.
But basically, it was like some of the players didn't get points. However, if there was like one or two more competitors, then they would have got points. Or if there was one or two less competitors, then they would have got points. But
Yeah.
because they were in this awkward player region, some people who top cut didn't get points. I found that quite interesting because I was like,
That is weird.
yeah,
I know for the challenges, it's just like depends on how many people are there, I
yeah.
think.
But having the weird thing is having that little in between number where you're like, well, actually, like I'd understand if it's like, oh, well, we didn't have enough
Okay, so
players.
I had the exact
Okay.
thing. So for challenges, you get championship points if you're 1 through 4,
Hmm.
but it's a kicker. So if you have
Yeah.
21 people, then
Hmm.
5th through 8th get 8 points. If you have 48, 9 through 16 have 6 points, etc.
Hmm.
And then 80 is the last kicker with 17 to 32 gets 4 points.
Right.
For cup, it's the same thing. So how many uh
So I guess it would be in between. You know what I think it might be? I think it might
okay,
be.
okay, so here's the thing. The
Mhm.
only way at least this is based on the official Pokemon website, right? So unless there's some error or someone told you the story wrong, the only way top 8. Oh no, this does make sense. Okay, yeah. So top 8 gets points if they have 21 people as the kicker. If they have 20 people, only 1 through 4 gets points.
Okay. So
So that's
then
what happened.
I think then what the
Anything
like
under, yeah. So but oh, I see what you're saying, because 17 would push it to a top. Why would there be a top 8
yeah,
for
I think
17
that's it.
people though?
I don't
I
know,
feel
but
like
I
there
think
should
it
only
might
be
be
a
that.
top cut of 4 people, unless it should only go to top cut of 8 people if there was 21 people or more.
So maybe
So
that
that
was
might
the
have been like a
like
tournament organizer
issue.
issue.
Could be, but I think
I don't
but it
know.
was
I don't host
organized
these
at
tournaments. I don't know.
the it was organized like at the it was the one at the
Yeah, but
Utrecht
everyone can make
special event, innit?
mistakes though.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But I
I
think
don't know though. It's for anyone that's like a professor or host locals, maybe correct us. But in my mind, I feel like if you don't reach the kicker, your top cut shouldn't have the the points
yeah,
allocated for people for
that
that
makes
kicker.
sense. Yeah, that
Because
makes
like
sense.
so for example, for the Go Cup during the Sinnoh tour in LA, we just missed the 48-person kicker.
Right.
So because of that, our top cut was only a top 8 instead of a top 16.
Right.
Because it wasn't like, oh, we have obviously more than 16 people,
Yeah,
so we're gonna do a top 16 cut, but only half of you get points, right? Only the top 8 gets points. That doesn't make any sense to me. In my opinion, I mean that could have just been like a professor or judge error, and I mean that happens, right?
yeah,
At least the points are so. But I mean that does change things actually quite a bit.
yeah.
But it is. I mean, I'm sure mistakes happen, so I'm not like hard on that.
Yeah,
But
because then like if this is like that should be the case, right? What you just explained, where it's
yeah,
like, if you meet the kicker, you do the top cut.
yeah,
And if it isn't the case, then you get situations like what you were saying with status stand, and it's like, well, you can top cut, but then lose in the single elimination, and then you don't get points, which
yeah.
is like a wild situation to be in it. So,
But yeah, I don't. But that wasn't what Sad Sands
or like
situation
don't
was
get
at
the
least.
thingy points in it. Yeah. But I'm saying
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? In it? Yeah.
yeah. I don't think
Um,
that's the case, but I don't know. I don't know how we got there from PJCS, but Tiwasa also continues. The Paradox Mons have different dex entries, right? Different dex entries typically mean different candy. We don't have
yeah,
Paradox Pokemon in Pokemon Go yet, though.
I
If
don't
I'm
think so. No.
so, actually, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I see what he's saying. He's saying dex
Yeah.
entries like in the actual Pokédex. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like
And they are
like
different
a
ones. Like they aren't the same.
Magmortar has a different dex entry than a Magmar, right?
Well, they
Like,
don't evolve from the other ones either. They're like
yeah,
literally
that's
separate,
true.
mons.
But can't you say that about Lowland Pokemon too?
You could, yeah, but with the lowland Pokemon, I think you know what I think a good example is maybe that's not a good
No,
example.
but Lowland Pokemon do evolve
Um,
from another form
yeah,
that's
and the
super.
lowland Pokemon are like it's like a lowland this thing.
Well, I'm
But
thinking
if it's like
like a Obstagoon. Obstagoon shares
yeah,
Zigzagoon candy,
but
but it does
it
evolve from
evolves
Galarian
from
Zigzagoon.
Zigzagoon, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Zigzagoon.
if there's something where it's like
I don't think there's an
related but has
example
a
in the
different
game right
name,
now.
I can't think of an example either.
I don't think there's any.
Because I feel
Yeah,
like they all evolve from stuff.
yeah. I
Oh,
don't know. I think we'll
one
see though.
example that will come out
Yeah,
is Toad School,
yeah.
because that's like it's not like Paldean Tentacle or anything in it. It's like a
Mhm.
completely different thing, but it is a Paldean Tentacle in it.
Yeah,
So whenever they introduce that, then that will probably be a good indication
yeah.
of how they're going to use it. Yeah, but I
Right,
imagine
right.
it would be different.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think Tiwasa does bring up a good point, but I don't know. I feel like people won't like that if it takes different candy, but I don't know. We literally have no data on this
Yeah,
at the moment, so it's hard to say. Tiwasa also says my biggest gripe with the Spotlight Hour was that the boosted chance of getting regular XL candy from transfers didn't actually seem boosted. I wasn't expecting any rare XLs, but the increased chance of getting regular XLs was very disappointing. It should have been much higher, in my opinion. So not only were we not getting rare candy XL, but it didn't seem like we're getting regular candy XL.
yeah,
I didn't
that sounds
actually
like a big
really
problem.
track it myself because I just mass transfer a bunch, and like you know how it doesn't show all the
Yeah,
candies,
yeah,
right? So I wish they had some way to mark that too. Because if you mass
yeah,
transfer a bunch of stuff, you don't see how much candy you're getting from like a lot of the stuff. So,
yeah. That's true.
but anyway, uh, and then T-Russell says, "Wait, was this an actual challenge or just a league event for fun? I thought Australia wasn't supposed to have championship points awarding locals until March."
Yeah, so actually, I think it got reversed.
Oh,
So
because they weren't supposed to. Yeah.
another one. Yeah, I think it was because it was a bit early. So they ended up hosting
Oh.
another one, and I think Vish won that second one as well.
So everything still went
Okay,
according to plan. I mean, I guess 2 through 4 maybe is different, but
yeah.
um, yeah, good call out there. As far as energy values go, I really wish they would announce those as well, but energy values aren't displayed in game anywhere, so I think there may be a correlation,
True.
possibly a TBC, the Pokemon Company brand thing, like you guys are speculating. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think that's because, in my opinion, unless that's just like, look, I will say Niantic's been on top of the quality of life changes lately, and that would be a
Yeah,
nice
bruv.
quality of life change if they just in like said that specific energy stuff in these posts.
Yeah.
But I think it's a brand thing, is my guess.
It's
I
such a
don't know.
weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know
but
what I
that's
mean?
out of Niantic's control too. It's a
Yeah, I know,
Pokemon
but it's
brand
just
thing.
like such a weird thing in general. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like
guess
why does
so.
it hurt your brand? You
I
know?
don't know. I
Like
don't
the
know if it
IV
hurts
thing as
it.
well. You know?
I don't think
Yeah,
it
but
hurts
like
their brand. I think it's just more so I would think of it like this, right? I
uh,
think like, you know how Niantic has different like values and stuff. They want exploration and
yeah,
stuff like that. I think Pokemon's values are like they want Pokemon to be like your friends, your companions, whatever. And let's not fixate on the stats and the energy and the
yeah.
numbers,
But
right?
there's already
Because like
so
if
many
if
numbers.
like
It's
if
you
like
know,
if you
what's
had
one
like
or
a
two
pet,
more?
you wouldn't be like, oh, how strong is your cat versus my cat, right? How much
Yeah, I
could your
would.
cat bench, right? Like you're
I
not going to
would.
focus on numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You think your
good
cat's
call.
gonna outbench mine? Hey,
No, it's a fact. There's no way.
you got
Right,
another thing
Cranberry's
coming.
chunky, but she's strong. But I think that's my guess is those are some of their values, which is why
Yeah,
they've kind of stayed true to that. And I feel like they're probably going to stay true to that forever, or
yeah.
for a while, because their
I
company
mean, you've
culture
been
is strong,
going
even if they switch
for this
CEOs,
many
right?
years, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's one of the
there's
strongest
no
brands, if
doubt
not the
they'll,
strongest
yeah,
brand in the world. So like it makes
yeah.
sense why they want to stay true to it. Yeah, they're
Strange
very
though.
brand focused,
Yeah,
but yeah, strange to us, but I don't know.
yeah.
It could be also very cultural too, right? For Japanese people, maybe that's there's a lot more. It says a lot more to not focus on the numbers, right?
To not
I
reveal the
don't know.
energy.
I'm just saying stuff. I'm just speculating at this point. Who knows? Blink twice if you're from TPC and you know what I'm talking about. DH Khan says, "Gotta listen to this one on the flight from Bali." I love how DH Khan said the same thing, but from LA. This guy flies everywhere. I did want to bring something up. Uh, Naruto to Bali, Japanese security did it again. They saw the 3 anchors in my bag and wanted to verify that they were under the limits. Wait, you got 3 anchor batteries?
That's
That's
wild.
nuts. TH
That
Khan, you should just get the big one I got.
yeah.
It'll be
Also,
good.
like, okay, 3 anchors.
But it might be
You,
for
I
it could be
mean,
also be for his work too. Who knows, right? Like
yeah, true,
he's got to
true.
juice up the laptop. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So that's a
We're
lot.
trying to get an anchor sponsorship, so
Hey, yeah,
stay
yeah,
tuned.
yeah.
Stay
You
tuned.
can have 5 anchors next time.
Sure. Okay. I need to talk business with Anicor after this episode because he's promising some sponsorship. So,
Hey, back in London nowadays, so
yeah.
we're in
Yeah, back being productive, huh?
territory. Yeah.
Infamous Smash says, I thought everyone had all Mega 3s, all Megas 3. I have a Mega tag. I would evolve them every couple days. Yeah, same. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
You know what? I was under the
There's a
thingy
lot of
of
people that
like
just don't grind the
legendary
game
ones.
like us, Infamous
Yeah,
Smash,
yeah.
you know? Some people just,
I,
like this
I
guy.
was thinking it was just
This
legendary
guy.
megas, isn't it? Like, so
Why
yeah.
would that be a thing? There's Megas of all types.
No. But as in, like, I was thinking that you were saying all your legendaries were Mega
Yeah.
Threes, and I was like, bruv, how
Okay.
you get Groudon and Kyogre so quick? But,
The only reason why I don't have all possible Megas Mega is because I'm like kind of an IV stickler. So like I
yeah,
still don't have a Hundo Squirtle / Blastoise or whatever.
I swear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the first one that's the one. No,
Yeah.
that's the one of the first Pokemon to drop in the game, right? Like that
Yeah.
could have been your first Pokemon if you're playing right
I
off the
think
bat.
it
I know
probably
some people
was.
picked it,
Yeah.
right? And I still don't have that thing as a Hundo. I don't
Yeah.
know. I should have grinded the birthday event, the Pokemon birthday event harder, I guess. But I just
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, like if people have like if they're like just like trying to re-roll stuff or whatever. Like I'm like, save your Squirtles, I'll take them. Like maybe one of these will re-roll to Hundo. But that's the only reason I don't have a Mega Blastoise. But I have like pretty much all the other Hundos. Yeah, same thing with Latios and Latias. I don't have either of those Mega for the same reason. But we got not Rob here saying, "Hey guys, came here just to chime in on the Megas chatter. I was going to tell Caleb his Mega game is weak. I'm at 88 Mega threes, working on another 13 to get over 100. But man, Anicor is down bad. Just how many game functions do you not know about?"
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I can't even argue with that. You know, I've been getting better at playing the game. Yeah, admittedly, this was while I was in Japan. Yeah, but I feel like I can carry it on here in London. But you know, as a path to Master League specialist, so I've been sending those gifts. I've been opening gifts.
Yeah, that's the key to becoming a Master League specialist, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, like good luck. Once you hit the 5 best friends, then we'll see you in the next Battle Frontier Master League matchup. Anyway, that does it for our YouTube comments. But we had a recent tournament, the one we've been talking about for a while, the Broly Regional, the Utrecht Regional. For those that don't know, we call it the Broly Regional because it's like it's non-canon, right? It's like kind of in this meta, but not really. It's like the Dragon Ball Z Broly movies where like Broly's not really canon at all until maybe sometime soon. But
he's canon now. Again, because
in the manga. Oh, in the movie. The movie
not in the
super.
Canon, yeah.
Oh, I still haven't seen that movie. I need to watch it. Yeah. Man, how's he back again? But anyway, so definitely an interesting regional too. I didn't watch all of it, so I'll lean a little bit more on you on this one. Right. I was busy and partially I wasn't as motivated because it's Broly regional. But break it down for us. How many total players were there? Let me just look this up so we have the specific bracket pulled up as well.
Yeah. So actually, like an insane amount, and also looking at the bracket, I think maybe I'm gonna be wrong about this because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't look at the bracket all weekend.
Yeah.
The reason why I wasn't looking at the bracket all weekend, oh my days, I genuinely loved the casting this event. Yeah. I'm not saying it just because it was, Tomahawk
the homie,
on the thing.
The homie, the friend, the teammates.
Yeah. But you know what?
The teammate on the main team, right? You're in the feeder team, but the teammate on the main team.
He came from our team. Anyway.
He came from your team?
Yeah.
Oh, and then they stole him when he got good, right? Okay, yeah. Let's move it on. Yeah. I rest my case. So 216 players is kind of nuts.
Yeah, a lot of players, and I think this may be. I mean, I'm looking at the bracket, right, and I'm looking at the wrong part, so that was useful. Looking at the bracket, and I'm okay. No, there was still a decent amount of like no shows as expected with the special event. So it's outside of like manually counting, it's hard to gauge how many people actually showed up, but there was still a lot of players. It's hard to count. So because I was like, oh, if maybe you like take away the first round, but even some of the second rounds.
We know you're
like
not the best at math. It's fine. No one's going to give you a hard
time. Hey, I got some maths prep for later today, but
okay.
But yeah. So a lot of players. Again, the 216 is a hard like number to verify. So I just say a lot of players.
200 plus.
Well, even that we don't know.
Is that the biggest tournament of this season outside of like internationals?
Yeah, but again, it's like.
Wait, wasn't there more at Liverpool? I thought it was 2.
No, I think Liverpool was just under. It was like around 210.
Okay.
But it's still in it. It's like again, it's hard to verify because of how many people didn't show up. So
yeah. It's also a special event, so I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense in it. Yeah. So we'll just say lots of people played.
Yeah.
And yeah, I genuinely really like the casting. Like, I think now, okay, here's something you can tell me, right? So you, I'm assuming, have watched Unite broadcasts, right?
Yeah, I have.
Now,
I've commentated some too, but like grassroots.
But as in like the official Unite broadcasts. Have you watched those?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know anything about. I've not watched it yet, but I know that there's like a certain reputation that the Unite casters have. Yeah. Can you
Uh-huh.
tell me what that is?
So their reputation, they
Compared
do a
to like
lot of
all
like
the other
skits and
casters.
stuff, you
Okay.
know? Like they'll like and their production is very supportive of it. So like for example, for Worlds, there was one of the commentators, he was like over like a glowing like a purple globe, and he was like, "Oh, I predict the future," and blah blah. Like he's like all these like very goofy stuff, right? But they're like very supportive of that kind of like content,
Okay.
to kind of like add a lot more personality into the broadcast, I
Right.
would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think this regional particularly, it felt like it felt like there was a lot more personality in it. You know, you
Mhm.
had like the pairing of Tomahawk and Nighttime Clasher was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, because obviously you've got the little history behind
Yeah.
them. Yeah, but then
Right.
also it was like, you know, they both have really good knowledge on the game, and
Mhm.
then at the same time they were just, you know, taking the piss out of each other. Meanwhile, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some of my favorite quotes. Stop talking, Eric. Yeah, just like well, while something good was happening, just, you know, like ragging on each other. I think it was really entertaining, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
genuinely like. I even downloaded the VOD because at the time I could only watch the matches because I was like busy on the weekend.
Wait, why would you download the
But
VOD? They're all on YouTube, no?
oh, as in like I downloaded it for the plane. Yeah, yeah, just so
Wait,
I could
where
like.
were you at the time when this happened? Were you in
I was
China?
in Japan.
Or you in Japan?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
I was still in Tokyo. But yeah, I was just like kind of busy over the weekend. And then obviously there's like the slight time difference as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, I was mainly just like watching the matches where I could, as
Gotcha, gotcha.
opposed to the whole thing. But yeah, I didn't have it on mute, which was great.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought it was, yeah, I thought from the commentating perspective, I thought it was sick.
Yeah.
Really what I want to see for events going forward, and you know,
Mhm.
I don't know if I don't know if there's like a difference between like the American productions and the EU productions, in that maybe the US productions feel like they have to stick to the like certain rules a bit more,
Mhm.
or if it's a case of like, well, this was the first production for Tomahawk, and like kind of the first EU one for Nighttime Clasher if we just discount like last year's one, and so they were just a bit more like you know, uh like maybe unfamiliar with the rules, but then just going and doing their own thing. But I feel like whatever it was, it worked, you know.
Mhm.
And I'd probably like to see like that kind of playfulness a bit more um with the other productions, but again also not taking away from like game knowledge and actually, you know, focusing on the game and stuff like that,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
getting that back. So
I think that stuff's
um
important too for like a fun broadcast, right? Like
yeah,
there's more than just game knowledge, in my opinion,
yeah,
to be a good commentator. So
exactly.
yeah,
And
I
you know
agree
what?
with
I
you.
think these are the things that we can bring in, and not the animations, to make a fun broadcast. The animations were sparing this weekend, which is great.
Look, if there's anyone from
Um,
TPCI that listens to our podcast, I think they already know this is your main
yeah,
feedback,
they
right?
know, they know. Okay, but getting on to the actual stuff, right? So
Uh huh.
the first thing that was super interesting was the meta.
Uh huh.
Um, Now, obviously, again, to preface this, regional didn't allow for Pokemon that had new moves, or like didn't allow the new moves on Pokemon to be used. So, you know, we didn't have Shadow Claw on Feraligatr, we didn't have Aquatail on Goodra, we didn't have, you know, Psycho Cut on Gallade. The
Hmm.
main things I think that we did have were Water Pulse Mantine. And also, one thing that was interesting is, you know, we didn't find out the energy for Water Pulse until literally the night before.
Yeah, because
Um,
it was like entered wrong, right, or something.
oh yeah,
Or,
first it was entered wrong where it was
yeah.
just the same energy in it. But then
Yeah.
also I think like people were expecting it to be a dig clone, which would have made things a bit more, you know, I think it wouldn't have been overpowered on anything, but it
Yeah.
would have been a very genuine like, oh, this is the move to use on this Pokemon, right?
Right.
Um so instead of 50 energy, we got 55 energy, which seems like obviously it's a bit of a midpoint, and I think it seems like more of a niche use slash if you really need that move, you'll use it, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
it
So as
doesn't
a
feel
comparison
amazing.
for people, so it's 55 energy for 80 damage.
Mhm.
No status change or whatever. Scald, on the other hand, is 50 energy, so 5 less energy for 85 damage, so 5 more damage.
Mhm.
And you have a 50% chance of lowering your opponent's attack.
Yeah,
So
so
definitely definitely leaves
not
you wanting a
amazing.
little bit more
Yeah,
for a
I
water
mean,
pulse.
do you think maybe it's like one thing I do like is that the approach that they've taken on this upcoming season is not to like just change everything, right? But like maybe to
Small
sprinkle a
changes,
few little
yeah.
things. And do you think maybe it's just like a cautionary change where they were like,
Could be.
well, we don't want to put it to 50 energy straight away?
Yeah, because we
I don't
saw
think
like
50.
progressive nerfs to psychic, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't like hard nerf it 15 damage right
Mhm.
off the bat. But
True.
since the
True.
original psychic, it is 15 damage less.
Yeah.
So over the
So.
course of what 2 seasons,
Mhm.
it's changed, right?
Yeah.
So
Personally, I'd like to see 50 energy because I think that wouldn't break anything, and at the same time would just, you know, it would like make the move seem a bit more like, oh yeah, this is a go-to move,
yeah.
things like Mantine, and then
Well, the
to
thing
be
is
honest,
also
Mantine's
like
doing
Ice Beam is already 55, right?
yeah,
And Ice Beam does more damage.
hmm
If you factor in Stab, I think it's about the
it
same,
might be not,
or
yeah,
maybe still.
but then also like that
But the thing is, like, so
you have
why
to make
not just
that
run Ice
decision on the
Beam?
coverage exactly, yeah, yeah,
Because like Ice Beam's just going to be, if you get land that's going to be better into Gligar anyway,
hmm
and you just lose a lot of coverage running Water Pulse into stuff
yeah,
like Mandibuzz and Altaria.
yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
out of curiosity too, I don't recall off the top of my head, but how many people that ran Mantine actually ran Water Pulse instead of Ice Beam? I know EJB, Pablo Dinas,
Yeah, so
Sadistan,
actually,
they all
I
ran
think
Mantine.
yeah, I'm gonna quickly check because basically there was a little discussion in the like someone replied to this particular question in the
Yeah.
Dracoviz chat, and
Like
I'm
Ice
just
Beam is
gonna
just
see what they
better, I
said.
think, even with Stab, right? Even
Um,
considering Stab. Let me see real quick while
yeah,
you're looking that up. So Water Pulse and Ice
okay,
Beam. Let
so
me put it into like a Skarmory maybe as a comparison because they're both neutral. So Ice Beam
okay,
does
so
39
apparently,
damage. No, Water Pulse does a little bit more. With Stab,
yeah.
it is actually a little bit more.
So we've got EJ used Water Pulse, Lurgan used Ice Beam, Sandudu used Water Pulse, Stan used Bubble Beam.
Oh my
San
gosh.
Vidigo used Ice Beam. No, Bubble Beam makes sense because you get the Licky matchup,
Well, it's also
which is
better
like the
into
main
Gligar.
reason
It's
for
just
Bubble
like
Beam.
it's just so annoying to
Yeah,
play
yeah,
into. I wasn't saying it's a
yeah,
bad
yeah.
strategy. It's
Oh
just
right,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of a little degen
So
strategy.
that's 5 out of 9 Mantines that we know. So I think there was like a bit of a rough split between. Um, I can't remember what WTM was. I can't remember what some of the other people were running in it, but like I imagine it was like a rough split between all three moves, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I imagine WTM might. He's pretty good into Licky, so maybe he'd run Ice Beam. I think he did run Ice Beam actually. Now I
Mhm.
think about it. Dean might have run. He's pretty good into Licky as well, in it. So maybe also Ice Beam as well. I don't think anyone. Yeah, so probably a split between Water Pulse and Ice Beam with like maybe just Stan running Bubble Beam. I'm assuming.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a yeah. I think it's definitely a choice that you have to make based on your team composition, right?
Mhm.
And what you actually need. But I think you're right. Like I feel like Ice Beam.
Just run Ice Beam.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I think also going into this next is upcoming format, it might need to be Ice Beam. So
Well, I
um,
don't know. I mean, if Water Pulse is better for neutral, it might be slightly better because,
I,
like,
th- I think it's the
let's say,
Dragon and
like,
Flyer
okay, into
coverage that
into
you want.
Lickitung, for example, right? You would just throw
Yeah,
Water Pulse over the Ice Beam. You're
yeah, but
getting
you're
four
not
more
beating it with
damage.
Water Pulse anyway, innit? So
Wait, say again?
you know what I mean? You're not beating it with Water Pulse
I
anyway,
mean,
like
that's
any more
true.
than you're like, So
That's
that
true.
seems like a bit of a like mental
But
gray
I
area
mean,
there. So
every matchup's like kind of dynamic, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. But I think having the Dragon and Flyer coverage might be necessary. So Yeah, we'll see. But
I don't know. I'm just not going to run Mantine. But
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So I mean, so what was interesting here is that like there was, like I said, 9 out of 16 Mantine in the top 16.
yeah, I think it's
However,
Mantine. By the way, I'm
is
pretty
it? Did
convinced
you
it's
confirm?
Mantine. Well,
I was basing it on that
I just know that
Mantine thing.
whatever I say is
Nah, bruv, that's not a
no, 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 no,
that's
no, no,
not
no,
a
no,
reason.
no, no, no. I know that sounds ridiculous, but like I just remember that what I was saying and rolls off the tongue
Uh,
easily was what was confirmed to be accurate when I had discussion with this with
okay,
somebody
I
in
just
Utrecht.
googled it, and the first thing that comes up says it's Mantine in it. So okay,
Yeah, Mantine.
that's
Yeah,
fine. Okay,
yeah.
whatever.
I'm not like just messing with you. I'm just saying
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
what's your evidence? I
yeah.
was like
Your reasoning
I don't
wasn't
have
good.
any, but I just remember specifically
Trust me,
whatever
bro.
I keep saying. Yeah, yeah. Just
Trust me,
trust me,
bro.
bro. Just trust me, bro. For you,
um,
bro.
okay, so yeah, Mantine not actually present in the top 12 usage of day one, right?
Yeah.
So if we look at the top 12 usage, we've got Lickitung at just short of 50%,
Mm-hmm.
understandable. Whiskash at 41%, didn't get touched, also understandable. Annihilate 37%, Gligar 32, Registeel 32, Charger Bug now at like 26%. So here we're getting into like the lower usages.
Yeah.
Azumarill, Lantern, Cresselia, Skarmory, Dragonair, and Medicham. So I think compared to the
Metachamp
previous
usage
regional,
that high is kind of wild to me.
that's weird. I find that so weird. But
13%
I
Metachamp.
mean, I think also okay, so
It's weird because it's not good, and I know it's not good because no one
yeah.
top 16 ever had a Metachamp.
So I'm wondering if like, so obviously they get these this usage stats from the team data, right? So this is everyone who's entered a team, even if they didn't show up. And do you think maybe like because it's a free event, some people are, maybe some newer players are like entering, and then
I don't think newer
Medicham's
players
like
have
one of
put
the only thing
Metachamp
they
in though.
have.
They put
You
random
don't think so?
stuff like a Zapdos or
No,
something
but
or
like newer, but
Moltres.
maybe a bit more like serious, and they've got like a good Medicham or something. I don't know. I don't know. This is just
No, but if they're not
speculating.
going to show it, doesn't. No,
Yeah,
I don't.
true, true, true.
I don't know. That's maybe, but
No, it's a
I don't
yeah,
think
long
so.
shot.
I
Yeah.
but the thing is, well, let's assume that's a possible theory. But the
Oh,
thing is, that means that there was nothing else in that top 12 usage that was really run that had more usage than Metachamp. That I find hard to believe, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
why wasn't there more? How are there more fake Metachamp used than
yeah.
real
That's
Mantine
true.
use,
That's true.
right?
Yeah, that is true.
I
Yeah,
think people were
because
actually
also
running
I think
Metachamp. Yeah.
13% of 2 6. That's like, was that like around like 25 to 30 players using Medicham?
Yeah.
And if 9 Mantine, sorry, were in the top 10, in the top 16, yeah, that's already a third. So you only need like 20 more Mantine players to like get to that level. So, yeah, true, true, true. So I think interesting differences to the previous meta. So again, I think the only things that were really impacting this particular meta would have
Mhm.
been Water Pulse Mantine if people were using it. Aquatel on the Dragonair just made it a bit stronger into, I guess, matchups like Registeel, maybe Gligar, something like that.
Mhm.
And I think those were pretty much the only moves that actually had an impact on this event, right?
Yeah.
As a result, you do see Dragonair creeping into the top 12, which hasn't happened for a while.
Well,
And
Giratina
yeah,
Origin was
weirdly enough, you
legal
don't
for the
see.
first time too.
Yeah. So that was a big one as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was relevant. Let's just get to
yeah,
the top placements then, because while we're on
yeah.
that topic, we had a sweep from
Hmm.
fellow commentator, as well, and longtime competitor in Adequins, who had a pretty crazy run on day two. So loses
Yeah,
first round, then goes 17-0, which is crazy.
insane.
Hey, I know the feeling, Pablo. I know the feeling to go 0-6. I've been there. It happens. It happens to the best of us, you know. I got the longer the championship series goes on, the more people that join the coveted 0-6 club, right?
He's
But it's okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah, and honestly, do you know what was mad? Yeah, is that like when you watch that game, it just halfway through, yeah, it just seemed like Pablo was like, he was like, I don't even know what to do anymore, you know?
That's how I felt against Elite, dude.
Yeah.
You literally, like, at a certain point, you're getting so outplayed, you're getting outpredicted, you're getting outplayed on top of that, you're getting outread, you're getting out, like, shield called and baited and whatever. And, like, at certain points, you're just like, I'm just throwing mud on the wall at this point. I don't know what to do, right? And obviously, that's not going to work,
Literally,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, it's how he physically looked like that in the camera at some point,
Yeah.
where he was just
Yeah.
sitting down and he was like not even focused. He was almost like,
I was like, second place is not too bad at this point, right? But yeah, like, no, I get the feeling. I'm just like, what can I have done? Like, what is there to do?
Um,
Was there like a
and
significant team comp disadvantage? It doesn't really even seem like it, right?
I mean, okay, so you've not really got an answer. I guess you do have an
The
answer to
Wigglytuff
Kira.
is pretty
Yeah.
good.
The
It's probably
the Wigglytuff doesn't have like a proper
did
check.
he use the Wigglytuff a lot in that grand finals?
Oh, I can't remember.
The
Man.
Wigglytuff
You know
looks
what I have?
pretty good.
Yeah, I have really bad like
Recall memory
of matches. Yeah, even
GBL
when I
skill.
watch them, you know. Recall memory we'll go
We'll
with.
talk about that later.
Yeah, I have really bad recall of certain stuff in it. So
Okay. I didn't get to watch all of it, so that's the only reason I asked.
yeah.
I
But
usually
the
think
thing
this
is
stuff,
that
but
like what I do remember is Inadequance was literally reading Pablo like a book.
yeah,
He was
locked
winning
in.
leads like one after the other, and it was like, yeah,
It's
he
just
was
like
literally just
one,
reading
like
his
it's like
stuff.
always being one step ahead of the opponent, right? Like the opponent's
Yeah,
like, all right, I'm gonna make this adjustment, and then
yeah.
completely
He
calls that
just
adjustment.
knew, literally, completely called it. You know,
Yeah,
bringing in the Reggie Steele. I guess Reggie Steele had like some decent players as well.
yeah.
But yeah, the Giratina Origin being the star of the show, I guess, because of the one, because of it being so new. Two, because nobody else literally was using it. I don't even know if anyone in the tournament was using it. Maybe not.
I mean, I don't know how many
Whatever.
people in the tournament
Right?
have one. I mean, I'm sure a lot of
Yeah, do
PvP
you know what I
people do,
mean?
but like, yeah, there was I
And
saw that
then
insane
yeah,
swap
and then the
CAP
catch.
play, yeah,
Yeah,
which is
that was
pretty
a
nuts. I mean, I've seen that
yeah,
happen in GBL and stuff, but to see that in the
yeah,
grand finals,
yeah.
kind of nutty. Yeah, that was
Because
crazy.
I think when you're playing GBL, obviously you're like practicing some of these skills, but then also
Yeah.
like the pressure is a bit lower, and so
Yeah, you could
sometimes
just mess
you're
around and stuff. Yeah,
exactly,
like that takes a lot of intentionality to do, and because he
Mhm.
had to swap on. I mean, I guess against the charger bug, it made sense, right?
It's a
Like
bit
that's like one
easier,
of the
yeah,
best
but
things. But
you have to
it's
wait one
easier,
turn.
but it's not.
Yeah,
No, wait. Why does he
exactly.
have to wait a turn?
So you have to do a shadow claw, wait
Right?
one turn, then swap, then press the button, and then you get the CMP. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that is actually a lot
So
harder.
yeah,
That's
so
a
one
lot
turn
harder.
only. Yeah, because
Oh
if
that's
you go
that's not easier
yeah
than in my no. That's
yeah
actually crazy hard. Yeah, yeah, because that it would be easier if it was like a 3-turn move, right? But
If it was a
yeah, yeah,
3-turn
yeah,
move, then it's
No,
literally a
no,
swap and
yeah.
throw, and
I did the math around my head. No, that's actually
yeah,
that's insane. That's insane that he
yeah,
did
yeah,
it in a grand finals, but in any tournament setting, dude. Polly was telling me that he did it. He was telling me like he's like I did
yeah.
that too in play at Knoxville against a real D long off
Yeah,
camera and losers bracket. I was like, yeah, that's the difference.
yeah, yeah,
Like you're facing someone in the losers bracket, nothing against the real D long, but you're facing someone in the losers bracket off stream. Yeah, no one gonna clip that and talk about it on Twitter. Like, what
yeah.
you
It's
mean?
true. It's true. Really good nonetheless, though.
Do it in the
Yeah,
grand
like
finals,
ratings
right?
quality.
And sweep it twice, right?
Yeah,
Then you get all the props you think you
uh,
deserve. Not to say that
yeah, it was.
he didn't think that the play was good. He was just messing around,
Yeah.
right?
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think one of the big things as well is that like obviously last season Inadequance had a really good season in terms of like just top cutting every event. Um, this season had a pretty dead season. He started off
What do you
strong,
mean he
but
got third?
yeah, but like the other events after that were a bit
I
like
mean, I guess
yeah.
so. Would you call it dead season? If
Well,
that's a
I mean,
dead
compared
season,
to last season.
what's your
No,
season
no,
look like?
no, but I'm saying compared to
your,
his last season.
your
Do you know what I mean?
season,
You would look, you'd hold yourself to a
your
certain
season's in an
standard,
urn.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My season hasn't started yet.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you'd hold yourself to a certain standard, and I think also since like he was doing really well in cups and stuff like that, I imagine it's a bit like frustrating to not translate it in like
A giant
actual
200
tournament.
plus person tournament. Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I think it's
then
fair.
so and finally has won a tournament as well. So
Yeah.
I think he hadn't even been in a grand final up until now.
No,
So
he hasn't. He hasn't made a
um
top. yeah, because he qualified for Worlds through with a trickle down, right?
Yeah. So yeah, amazing performance. And I think a lot of people were saying, at times, could you consider him like the best / one of the best players in the world? And I think that's true. And I think this kind of like bolsters it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like a weird. That's like a weird
Again,
topic though, because because you could
it's
say,
what we
see,
discussed like the other week.
would you say that about Doombug or,
Yeah, you would say that. Yeah.
or
I
what's his
mean, you couldn't name
right?
a one best player, right?
No. I think you
But
could name a one best
yeah.
player. I just don't know if you can name it after one really crazy run, right?
Yeah, but then you look at you use not necessarily after one crazy run, but then his history of tournaments. I think it puts him in good contention for like that area. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. For me personally, I don't know about it consistency wise. If it's nothing on inadequacies, but like his consistency, like I would put Potamon before him.
Yeah. But I think Pataman would be up there as well. I guess it depends how many people.
What is this? One the
depends how many people you want to put in.
Best player in the world right now. One.
Oh no,
not best. I agree, he's one the best.
I'm saying one of the best.
Yeah, for sure, he's one the best, right? I'm saying
I would say best.
One like the best is like. I'm thinking about a King tweet because King was talking about it too, right?
Yeah.
He said I thought that he was the best player in the world during COVID, and I think there's contention for that. But I think that conversation only like I don't know. I feel like there's not enough data points at this moment in the season for me to know for sure. I think we would need to see Worlds happen for me to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because you could be the best in your region or whatever, but when you face off against other people in other regions, it could look like a very different picture, right?
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, we saw a Shadow Golbat as well, and
that was kind of nuts too. What was that? Fourth
really
place,
wild.
Third place,
third place.
Yeah. That's nuts.
So that was kind of wild.
Really tough around.
Yeah. But generally, one thing that was interesting is there was like one particular team archetype which was quite common, and it was the actually the second place team, so Pablo's team, Shadow A/, Licky, Mantine, Whiskash, Annihilate, and Chargerbug, which honestly is pretty much like from last season. It's like the staple 5. But you're replacing the flyer with Mantine, so you're taking out the Gligar, and then you just dash in A/ in there. And that team was like quite common throughout the weekend. So I think that was quite interesting.
A/ is wild too right now. I mean, there's so many. I guess if you avoid certain things, you're okay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with A/ though is that like because you have that
really
kind of
good.
coverage,
it's really solid into Whiskash. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
like it's really not that bad into A/. You know, you really just have to watch out for the fighters at this point, especially running Powder Snow. But like, it's a lot of it's such a gamble. But I guess the gamble is more on your side than not, right? Because even if you have a counter user, you just have one, right?
Yeah. And I think again, if people choose to play in that kind of way,
you
then
love some Talonflames. Actually, that's actually kind of wild too.
yeah. So Talonflame, yeah. Honestly, though, again, Talonflame
looked pretty good in the Pablo Dinas team.
Yeah.
Because what do you have to worry about? Just a Mantine.
Pretty much, and
because
the
Whiskash is not that bad. Yeah.
If the Mantine wasn't a Water Pulse one, then you've got like a bit more players. But yeah, I think the thing with Talonflame,
did it play a lot of Talonflame against Pablo in the grand finals?
I do recall it getting onto a Sandslash, so I think
I would bet that would be really good, honestly. Pablo's team is a little bit weak.
And the thing with Talonflame is like. It's like that neutral mon kind of thing, like it technically loses to water types, but really what's the water type that you're actually fully losing to? It's just the Lantern, and there wasn't as many Lantern as things like Chargerbug or certain other water types.
Yeah, I mean it's not great to Chargerbug though. So
it's not. But the thing is, it's not great into Chargerbug. But then at the same time, like Chargerbug doesn't also want to eat the fire damage as well. So it's like.
Sorry, no, I thought you were talking about Mantine. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, Talonflame. No, I'd rather be Talonflame into Chargerbug all day long. Yeah. I'd rather be the Talonflame, for sure.
And so generally, like Talonflame has all these neutral matchups where.
It's hard as hell to optimize though into Chargerbug with Talonflame.
Yeah. There's the thing, but I think also having incinerate is kind of hard to like optimize against certain
Yeah.
things anyway. So really the key with Talonflame is, putting it in good situations, getting little farm downs, giving it shield advantage, and just like overwhelming your opponent. And it's pretty successful. We saw it this event and also last event as well. And maybe one event prior, but I think definitely more so last event.
Yeah.
However, yeah, it was super interesting that it was pretty much just the same meta as the last meta. Mantine, honestly, it wasn't really the buff that rose its prevalence because it was, starting to get used a lot more last tournament anyway, and like I think the tournament before. But going into the actual meta now, and I'll say it now, yeah. You've definitely been playing more GBL than me, yeah. So, what's
How's the
what's
how's the
what's on
Wismer
your
XLs
radar?
looking
Yeah,
for you? You got
what's
296?
what's I
You got
think maybe
296?
I think maybe
Coming to the stream near
what's
you.
what's on your
Anicor.
radar? Obviously, Shadow for Alligator. That's like a pretty given, I think.
Yeah.
That's gonna
I've
be
been running. I should drop a YouTube video on this just now, but
uh
I've been running Poison Sting, Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, Clodsire,
okay,
Shadow for Alligator, and Manabuzz. Yo,
okay.
Manabuzz be cooking. It's great into
Mandibuz's still
Grenade.
looking good. Yeah,
Looking great.
yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
still good into. That's why I need a Clodsire because I'm like kind of weak to like Charmers and Wigglytuff,
Mhm.
right? That's why I ran the Sludge Bomb variant too. But yeah, it's Hannibals beats for Alligator too. I mean, it doesn't appreciate the
Yeah,
Ice Beam, but resisting
yeah.
the Shadow Call, and then it still
Mhm,
beats Whiscash. It's
mhm.
even better into Mantine if they're running Water Pulse now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What else is buff? Galade beats, right? Like that's
yeah,
not a fun match for
yeah, yeah,
Galade.
yeah.
Empoleon is not bad.
I don't
Actually,
know
it's
if it'll
better.
see too much use, but like,
No, I've seen a decent amount of
you think
Empoleon.
so?
Well, in
Yeah.
GPL at least. In GPL,
Oh,
I've seen
okay.
it
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot. Yeah, yeah. A lot of
yeah.
a lot in GPL.
What
It's a
Would you
little unfortunate. There's a
reckon?
lot more Lantern than there used to be, probably because all the for
Yeah, I'm not
Alligator.
surprised about that though. To be
There's a
honest.
more there's and the downside for Manabus as well is there's more Poliwrath now. There's a decent amount of Poliwrath,
Mm.
and that's not
But
fun
I
for
mean,
Manabus because Manabus
realistically, I
doesn't
feel
need it.
like, yeah, I feel like that's not really a big downside. Like you have
It's worse
played.
for Manabus because the main fighter is no longer Annihilate.
Yeah, yeah. But do you think that will? Okay, so what's your thoughts on how this will translate into show 6? So we've
I
got
think there actually
the
will be more
Brazilian regional
Poliwrath.
this weekend. You think so?
I
Okay.
think so. Yeah, I think so
Mm.
because for Alligator, that for
Yeah.
Alligator Annihilate matchup is not fun at all. Dude, I'd rather be the for
Mm.
Alligator in that matchup any day of the week. I think it's attack based in terms of who wins that, but that's assuming you're running Night Slash. You don't run Night Slash, it's over. And you can't
Yeah.
counter
You just
swap
can't
for Alligator,
outpace.
Shout for Alligator, because the
Yeah.
pacing's too quick. And the Shadow Call eats you up, and the Hydro Cannon pretty much one shots you after you take the Shadow Call damage. So that's why a lot of people are running Poliwrath.
Wait, are you running normal for alligator?
So I was originally.
Oh,
And
how'd you get shadow? Did you
no,
like
I have a
use a single
shadow.
move?
I have a
Oh, okay. It's
shadow,
just not
but
good.
the spreads are awful.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair
Look,
enough.
I'm not gonna say it here, but
In case.
I could like, dude, it's abysmal how bad it is. But
How many digits is the rank?
dude, I have
Is it 3
one.
or 4 digits?
I have four contenders for Shadow, right? None
Uh-huh.
of them are marked for Shadow for Alligator, so they're all like still Totodile, which says
Right.
something,
Okay.
right? Because I had
Yeah.
plenty of time to evolve it with Hydro Cannon over the past few
Uh,
years. None of them are evolved for a good reason because
mm.
they're not marked for it. I have four of them, and three of them, their for Alligator rank is in the 4 digits. One of them is in the 3 digits. All right. And
Well,
the CP for all of them. All right, let me name the CP for them so you can see that. 1469,
nice.
1477, 1462, and 1472. Which one do you make at that point? I made obviously the 1477 one, but this
Yeah.
it's just like it's terrible because I'm not winning charges. I'm not winning that cap, and I still don't have the bulk. Like it's the worst of both worlds, and I just spent the lead TM. I
Yeah.
TM'd all frustration at least, right? Because I was
Mhm.
like, oh, this is a good
Just in case, you know what I mean?
well, no, it's a good ranked little cup crocodile or a little cup totodile. But they weren't meant to be for alligators, and I have them just make one.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was sitting there deciding which 3 of my really good ranks that I was going to use.
And you're
And
still
I
sitting
settled
at
on a
rank
pretty
3,
nice
right?
one.
In GBO. We'll talk about that later.
That's
But
right.
okay, so yeah,
Yeah. So
what's
this
the name of the
weekend's
regional for this one? There's a
so
lot of battles
it
here.
is Guyana.
Giwania,
Guyana.
Giwania. Are you sure?
Guyana. Oh my days. Guyana. I read it wrong. Sorry. Guyana.
Guyana. I don't know. I don't know if you're right or not. I'm just
Yeah, I read it wrong. So
butchered
Guyana.
American.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe there's a bit more thingy on the accent, but yeah, Guyana pretty much.
Okay.
So Guyana regional this weekend.
Mhm.
Brazilian. Let me. I guess the location won't really matter too much in it, but like I'm pretty sure it's going to be huge. I imagine above 128 because also Brazilians they have 300 CP that they need to reach, so there's kind of incentive for everyone to go to most regionals, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because one good performance could just really boost you quite a lot. And that will be the first regional using the actual meta.
Mm.
Now, from my perspective, I think obviously Shadow for Alligator.
Yeah.
However, I think dragons are in a really good spot at the moment as well.
Uh-huh.
So obviously you have like Shadow Dragonair. Also you have Gudra, which I think is I don't know if people are gassed about it or not, but I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
Guzzlord and I guess Giratina. Giratina's pretty decent, Obviously, it's
Mhm.
just won a regional, and I think it has some really good matchups into the expected meta. Uh,
Right.
I don't know what the Feraligatr matchup is like, but I feel like with a
This
lot of
Hydra Cannon's hurt, even resisted.
yeah, is it?
Guillotine is definitely bulkier than like a Shadow Dragonair, but like
Yeah,
you
but
land
still,
you land a Hydra Cannon on a Shadow Dragonair, like you don't have to bait the Ice Beam. If they let it
yeah.
go, you just Shadow Claw it down. You
Let's see
know,
this
the Gudra's a different
Feraligatr.
story. Gudra's a little bit
Yeah,
tankier,
Gudra.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you lose by yeah. But I think if you get like it's close, but yeah, I guess it shouldn't be that close for a dragon, right?
no, yeah,
Yeah.
when
So,
resisted,
but I think generally what the thing to look at um for people when looking at new mons is probably like one how it fares against Licky, which I feel like
hmm
that's just the case with most mons, and then two how it fares against Feraligatr.
yeah,
And I feel like those are the two benchmarks which you can kind of just use for most things, right? So those three, Shadow Gallade, I think it can be really good,
hmm
but I feel like you really have to. I feel like you really have to set it up right,
yeah.
and I don't know what the best way of that might be, but like potentially there could be some good play from a Shadow Gallade because
The
again, if you let
pacing's
that run
quick.
away, yeah, it's just the fact that like you can't psycho cut something down. Whereas obviously with Shadow for
I
Alligator,
did
you
against
can Shadow Club.
Wigglytuff today. I was
Oh,
able
did
to
you?
cycle it down. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, well, I took a
It's a
lot of
wiggly
damage in the
tough.
process.
Yeah.
No, it only had low HP. Yeah, yeah. It
Fair
was.
enough.
I
Yeah,
need.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Um.
what else do you reckon? Anything else might come into the meta this
I
weekend?
don't think Empoleon will be super relevant. I mean, I think some people will run it, and someone
Hmm.
good can make it work. But I think for Alligator for sure. I think
Hmm.
Poliwrath will make a resurgence,
Right.
which in turn makes Lantern a little bit more popular.
Yeah, Lantern.
Which
I
might
agree.
make Cresselia more popular.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think we're gonna see a drop in Annihilate usage
Okay.
actually because for Alligator. So we're gonna see how that goes. I think Charger Bug also picks up more in usage because for Alligator helps protect a little bit against Gligar and the Mud
Yeah.
Boys,
Yeah. Yeah.
like against Whiscash mainly. Um, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. There's gonna be a stream too.
Hmm.
One of the commentators, it's LNDS
G09. Yeah.
Guizhou. Yeah. G09. I was gonna ask him for extra. It's Guizhou, right? Guizhou,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Grizel.
G09. Can't
Yeah.
forget the guy. And then I forgot who
Never
was the
forget
other
him anyway.
person.
Peloton, I think.
Pelotson. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a flyer earlier, but I forgot to bookmark it.
Yeah, I
So
think he did one of the other regionals,
yeah,
like early in the season, or maybe
yeah.
like late last season.
So good to see some showcase there. Do we
Mhm.
know the numbers on it? Is it capped at 128? I assume.
We don't. I was gonna ask someone just before starting, but everyone's asleep. So,
Yeah.
but I imagine, it's not capped at 128. I mean, I think one quick thing we can check, right, is it definitely would have hit above 128 by now, in my opinion, right?
If it wasn't capped
Um,
at 128.
if it wasn't capped, yeah. So it's like if I'm just going to go onto the event now and see if they will let me register, and if
Yeah.
they do, then maybe we can assume that it's going to be larger than 128.
Yeah.
Um, but let's see. So go to registration. Yeah, so I can still register. So I'm assuming it's probably larger
Oh,
than a
that's clever.
128 cap. Um,
That's smart.
this is again assumption. We'll find out at some point.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be
That was
really
clever.
cool.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well
yeah.
done. Well done. You can tell I'm not usually impressed
Yeah,
by
yeah. I was like, that's
Anicor's little strategies, but that was a good one. That was a good one. It was this and that fancy Great League Cup. The two times I've been impressed
Oh,
lately.
what was the Fantasy Great League?
When you
Oh,
beat
right,
Easy
yeah, just
Legend, your
true, yeah.
your 500
Just
points
wanted
in 2
a reminder.
days.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. Just
What?
wanted a reminder. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, it
Um,
was the bad recall. Come on now. All
yeah, yeah.
right.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be exciting, and it's also going to be like essentially this is going to set the pace for the season upcoming, because I don't think at least for now, I don't think there's anything that we have knowledge of, like new Pokemon wise, that might affect anything, right? So for this season.
Yeah.
So this is obviously, gonna, set the trend. I mean, I just want to say, I feel
Say
like
it.
whenever it comes to an EU event, we're always developing the meta, but unfortunately, there's only one. Oh no, there's EUIC in it, so
How are you
I don't know
developing?
how
I don't
much you can call
understand.
that.
What do you mean? How do you mean you're developing the meta? How are you all developing the meta?
We're developing the meta, bro.
Wouldn't you say like out of pocket and that Superior developed the meta from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, but that was the first event, but then
Yeah.
equally, like I said, you had people like Tomahawk who also had the same idea and, like,
No, but don't
developed
matter.
this
You
meta.
can say that. What if I be like, well, someone in Vancouver had the same idea as like someone in Brazil, right?
Hey, except we're developing the meta in it,
Oh my gosh, this guy.
So,
You know what? This reminds me. It's like oh, I'll take credit when we did it, but I'll take credit when we didn't do it too, right? This is this is the
yeah.
this is the
So
Anicor mentality. Well,
we
we
developing
lost
the
to
meta.
American 9-time Quashers. He's now European, so we
He's
took
now
technically take a
European.
dub
Yeah,
here
we've
too.
seen him way more over here than
Dude, you
in here.
got
So,
2 regular
um,
North American casters in Europe, and you're celebrating over here. How many
who's the other North
Europeans are
American one? Oh
commentating
yeah,
in
Limburger.
North America?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to comment on a stale meta, So, but anyway, I think, obviously EUIC in a month, so this really sets the pace for that. And then I believe we have like, is it like Toronto or Vancouver? Yeah,
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Vancouver, yeah.
So Vancouver, so this and Vancouver before EUIC. So obviously these two
These are
events are
small
going to be
sample
really
sizes
important.
too. Well, so the
Yeah,
Brazil one's gonna be early, and Vancouver's gonna be smaller.
you think small?
Well, I think they have like 30 something people registered right now.
Really?
Probably gonna hit like 60 something to like 90 something.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know if it'll go over
damn.
100. Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
to be fair, like it's like the Pacific Northeast or Northwest. So there's
Was
just
it just
it's not
really
as
out of the way?
centralized, so it's hard to get to.
Yeah.
And it's also in Canada, so it's harder for North
Mm.
America, like for US players to get to because like you have to go to
Do you
different
need a visa?
country. Well, you need a
You don't need a
no,
visa.
you don't need a visa. You need a passport. Not
Okay.
everyone has a passport for starters.
Yeah.
But the
I
other
found
thing
that
is
so
also,
wild.
yeah, I mean,
I thought you
US.
just got given it at birth, but maybe that's not true. But
No, you have to apply for it. Yeah,
no,
in
mad.
the U.S. But it could have expired for some people. The other thing
Yeah.
is it's more expensive to fly into Canada. Like I know
Yeah.
some people are flying into Seattle and just driving up because it's cheaper
Mm.
that way. But not everyone has the option to do that. And also, like, why
True.
fly there when you could just fly to like Orlando and go to Disney or whatever, like for a cheaper price.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
So yeah, it'll be interesting these next two events. I did have Just like a quick sort of thing in it, like Season 2 of the Asia Pacific Championships is about to start. Japan Division 1 actually started a bit early, and I did have the data, but I didn't download it and haven't like organized it. But I'm gonna publish it probably later today, as sort of like the first early snapshot. 20 players, 20 of the top players in Japan, and their takes on the actual meta before the meta starts in it. So
Yeah.
I think that'll be kind of interesting. And speaking on that, anyone who does want to sign up for season 2, visit our Twitter. There's like a little post just saying to join the Discord, and there's like some information on there.
Yeah.
We're closing signups in the next couple of days, so any Asian players who are interested in taking part, it's good practice for. We've made it a bit less time commitment as well. So instead of last season, we had the groups being 20 players and you had to play 19 matches over the season. We've instead split that up into 2 groups of 10 players. So now you play 9 matches throughout the season and then do playoffs instead. So less time commitment, but still good practice for any of the Asia qualifiers that are happening this season or any regionals that you might be taking part in. You can change your team every round, and so this means that you can really try out different strategies if you really want, or just stick with the same team and see how you fare against all different types of teams, right? So like an actual event.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well it's going to be interesting. Let's see how this weekend goes in Brazil, and we'll see how the meta shakes out.
Also, off stream, I'm going to tell you about my super secret pick that I want to use.
Right in Discord.
So basically, here's the issue.
You
right?
Get my genuine reaction of how bad this pick is.
Okay. I'm entertaining using this. Yeah. Now, let me just preface it with 2 things. Yeah. One, I was looking at Sims on the plane, and because I didn't have Wi-Fi, there was only so much I could do.
You're doing too much preface or something. Our listeners aren't even going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, innit? But like, it's fine. So I was doing Sims on the plane. I didn't get to dive into it too much, but I got to dive into it a bit where I was like, oh, this could be a legit thing, right?
Yeah.
And secondly, I'll say this much, it's a shadow Pokemon, and I actually haven't got one that's TM'd. So if I do commit to using it, it means I can't practice with it until like the week before. So which is a bit of an issue.
All right, type it to me. Let me see what this is. Why?
So the thing is, is what I'm expecting from.
All right, look for listeners. Let me just tell you. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be cooking anything. You might as well just say it, but I won't spoil it if you don't want to spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it.
Take guesses down below what you think the shadow Pokemon is that has frustration currently.
I think the thing is that like one, I think it when I was looking at it, I was like, for me, it filled a certain role, which was countering a few Pokemon where I was like, oh, I'm a bit weak to that, So there was that part. But then I was like, okay, well, how does it fare into the rest of the meta that I'm expecting anyway? And it's actually not that bad, right? It has, the Shadow variant over the normal variant picks up certain important matches and doesn't like really drop any like important ones. So I was like, okay, well, that's why I want to go for the Shadow variant, right? But then it has just like really good matchups into all the things I'm expecting to see. It has maybe like 2 or 3 bad matchups which are like completely unplayable, or not completely unplayable, but like matchups you don't want to be in. But in those situations, it's like, well, you just kind of build your team to kind of dissuade that, right?
Okay. Let me ask you this: are you running this for sure at UIC regardless?
You
don't have
time
to practice.
I don't know yet. I have to still make this decision, but
it's
one of the
make
things
it without practicing with one without frustration.
No, I have to look into it and see like if it's actually worth committing to without practice. I guess the thing is though is that I can like always practice with other things anyway, and then when it comes a week beforehand, I can make that decision and be like, well, am I going to TM this and start using it? So I guess maybe it will change as the meta develops.
If Anicor runs this, we won't see too much Misty on stage. That's all I'm saying.
Nah. This guy is enemy of progress, but this is the progress right here. Yeah,
no progress. I'm looking out for you. I'm trying to make sure you don't run anything troll and something bad, right?
This is the potential progress.
Palmer's Up was trying to run a Vigoroth in Knoxville last year, not this year. Last year meta, and then meta champ meta, and I told him not to. And yeah, it was
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
it
see.
was something. It was
Uh,
something. Anyway,
mm.
enemy of progress. What a I don't know. What a drama king we got here. All right, so we got some events to cover, so let's go into that. We have Lytton Community Day,
Yeah.
March 16th, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Mm.
And I don't think there's any events going on. I think this is the day before the Groudon Day or something.
Okay.
The Groudon Primal Day. So I think Groudon
Yeah, I
Primal Day is
think you're right.
Sunday,
Yeah.
and so this one's
Yeah.
Saturday. I don't even think there's any tournaments during this time, which is kind of for
Yeah,
once.
just like locals and stuff.
But yeah, so of course, you know, Incineroar gets Blast Burn, but
Mhm.
you also learn Darkest Lariats,
Yeah.
which is
So
120
I
damage, which
looked
is a
into
lot
that.
of it's a lot of damage
Yeah.
actually.
I
I don't
think
it's got to
it's a
be
clone of
expensive.
Future Sight.
It's just
So
like
as in like
how does
if it's going to
Incineroar
be the
get to
same.
that move?
Yeah, so this is the thing, Snarl and Double Kick. I mean, Snarl is obviously your best bet in that sort of situation. Um I mean, will it see so the thing is it learns Dark Pulse at the moment. So it's like
Yeah, it's overkill.
yeah, it feels like it.
One
Which is
stab, like
I
what
think
are you
it's a
going to
bit of
need
a
all that dark damage for?
yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a shame because I mean, I don't know if Incineroar has potential. I feel like it could do, but I'm not sure what kind of changes it would need. Maybe a better bait move, but I don't
Uh,
know. I don't know
yeah,
because I
I
feel like
mean, it
something along the
it
lines
would
of
have been
like double
interesting in like a
kick.
Trevenant meta, but we're not in a Trevenant meta.
Yeah, I feel like something along the lines of like if you had double kick. Let's say the dark move was something along the lines of like like brutal swing kind of energy, and then blast burn maybe it's like a bit more well-rounded enough that it could see play. But I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe it just is looking for its niche as opposed to
yeah.
going to be good immediately. So
Well, you get 3 times
um,
catch XP was the main bonus for this one.
yeah,
But yeah, so that's something to look forward to, I guess.
yeah,
You could obviously use Spatial Rend or Roar Time to. I don't know. Don't use it. Don't
yeah.
waste
It's
your
not worth it,
resources.
in my opinion. Yeah,
Don't do
it's
that.
not worth
Yeah,
it.
don't do that.
Um,
Anyway, so it'll be okay, but again, I don't think Incineroar is really that meta relevant. Even in
yeah,
limited metas, is kind of like falling off a little bit. So
yeah.
uh, invest
That's
in
just me.
it at your own caution.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll do a bet with it one day. We have Mars Shadows coming out
yeah. So
for
like
GoFest.
I
Was this teased
know.
somewhere? Where's this info come from
Yeah,
again?
so the Pokemon account did a little video of like Go Fest dates are going to be announced. Which
Uh huh.
locations do you think we're going to be in? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Now
Wait, when
personally,
are
I
the
only
dates?
watched
I
the
didn't even
video
see
one
this.
time. They didn't put the dates up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. They just teased like that it's going to come out
Oh,
soon.
gotcha. Okay.
But I only watched the video one time and I didn't spot Marshadow, but everyone's just like, yeah, Marshadow confirmed. So including Cerebi, which only they don't do speculative stuff in it. So
Oh
I'm assuming
yeah,
there was
you can.
probably
They
like a
zoomed in on the
Marshadow in the
shadow. I
video or
just pulled
something.
up the video.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So
Um,
Marshadow, it's a fighting ghost type. So
mhm.
another Annihilate, I guess.
A
Uh,
mythical. So you only get that one. You can't trade it.
mm, well, knowing me, it's gonna
Um,
be terrible spread.
well, yeah. Mine's gonna be 14, 15, 50.
Yeah.
No worries. But yeah, same typing as Annihilate. Now I compared the stats that it gets in Go. So this is including the 9% nerf, and you can pretty much compare the stats to Dragonite. I think Dragonite's just like slightly bulkier in
Okay.
defense, I think, by like a few points, but pretty much you can compare it to Dragonite.
Okay.
And Marshadow is slightly more attack in that as well, but
Okay.
again, it's only by a few points. Um, so in terms of Ultra League merit, I mean, it will definitely be on the glassy side, so probably won't be too much merit there. But in Master League, at least it's it sounds like it's got the stats to potentially do something in Master League.
Yeah.
Um, and
It has
looking at this,
interesting moves. It has counter, which
mm-hmm.
is pretty important. It has. Does it have Shadow Claw? It does.
uh,
It does on Shadow Claw.
okay,
So it has two of
so
the
that
best
that'd be really
fast
interesting.
attacks for sure to start things
Yeah,
off. It's got a bunch of different moves that it could run. Shadow.
Rock Slide, all the punches.
Yeah.
Um,
We have Shadow Ball as well. We have
nice close combat.
Outrage. We have a lot of fighting moves,
Yeah.
superpower. So it just
So there's
depends
a
a
lot of
little bit on
potential.
what it
Yeah.
gets. That'll be just a
Payback.
big thing. Payback. Yeah, I don't know if you really need payback, but
yeah, but it's like a
ghost
nice
moves
move,
is better.
But yeah, I think it has potential, obviously, depending on what they do with the moves.
I would love to see it get like an exclusive move or something. I don't know what the special
That'd be cool.
move it
Well, I
learns,
don't
but
know if they would do that this early. I feel like if they do that, then
on the
have they
second
given any
release, it has like
mythicals?
5 years later. Like when?
Yeah, probably in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably. I
literally.
guess that is how it is
Yeah.
because that's
Like,
how
have they given any mythicals exclusive moves yet? I guess they gave
mythicals.
seed thingy to uh Shaman, right? And then they gave Doom Desire to Jirachi. I guess Jirachi got Doom Desire straight
Yeah,
away. So maybe. Yeah. Maybe it
because
could
that
get.
was a long time ago. That was a very different
Yeah.
Niantic company. Like the
That's
people that
true.
decide that might not even be working there anymore.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah.
we'll
What is its I'm assuming maybe Spectral Thief is its move because I've never heard of it, but maybe it's not.
let me see. Yeah, I think it's Spectral Thief. Yeah, signature move.
Yeah.
It is a ghost move. Yeah, but I don't know.
So yeah, who knows? Um I think so do you think it can release with Counter and Shadow Claw safely and like
I
not
think it might
affect
have
the other
one.
leagues?
I think if we're lucky, it hits one of the two.
Okay.
I'd be shocked if we get both.
Fair enough.
But who knows? It's just
Yeah.
like at the same time, like, do we really want to be that OP? With you
That's
only
what I'm
get
saying. Like, will it make it that
one,
OP or will it
right? You
make
only
it
get
get
one. You
like?
can't trade it, right?
Yeah,
Like
true, true.
it's gonna be so annoying if you face one and someone has a
Yeah,
good spread and just like at least Zygarde you could grind for your own, right? If you really want to,
yeah, that's true.
and you
That's
could
true.
eventually trade it, but eventually,
Yeah.
maybe not. Who knows? Okay,
Um.
well that's
So yeah,
that's a
it'd
good
be
teaser.
interesting. Yeah.
We got Weather Week coming up as well, so
Mm.
that's going to be interesting. It's March 14th to 18th, so next week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So only about like Weather Week is like Weather Half Week. It's less than
What
4
are
out
4
of the
days?
7 days. Yeah. But catch Pokemon with Weather Boost to earn extra Stardust. 2 times Stardust for catching Pokemon. Fantastic. Increased chance of encountering shiny Castform. Also good because those are pretty rare shinies until now, I guess. So if you're hoarding them, probably should have traded them for something.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, the fallen Pokemon will appear more frequently in the wild regardless of weather conditions, and one of them being Paris. Extra dust from Paris. Speaking of Stardust, too, in this season of World of Wonders, Wonderful World, Willy Wonka, whatever you want to call it, Aldino are spawning in nests.
Yeah.
I haven't been to
That's
one
fun.
yet, but I put
Nah,
out
because I
call
just
out
got it. Yeah.
on my ex. I was like, "Hey, anyone know about any Aldino nests in LA? Because I need to hit them up."
So this
I
is
need to do
where my
something.
maths comes in. Yeah, I worked it out, and I was
Oh,
like, okay,
Aldino nest during weather week?
Ordino, yeah,
Oh
bruv.
my gosh. I don't
Now,
even care what the math looks like, Anicor. Everyone knows that's going to
it's
be a lot
gonna
of
be
dust.
insane.
Let's hear the math.
So, okay, so
Do the math.
assuming that, so currently the weather boost is 25%, right?
Uh-huh.
In terms of extra stardust. So let's assume that they bump it to 50%. Yeah. So bumped up to 50%.
What do you mean bumped up? They said 2 times Stardust for catching Pokemon.
No, but you get extra stardust when you catch a weather boosted Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
now let's say you've got a weather boosted Ordino nest. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Weather boosted. So extra weather boost,
Uh-huh.
2 times stardust,
Okay.
star piece,
Uh-huh.
Ordino. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just under 9.5k stardust per catch.
Dude.
Insane.
Okay, how about this?
Are there any other multipliers to put on that?
You want to do a Stardust challenge for that week?
Do you know what?
Motivate
Kind
us?
of, but kind of no. But like,
Why not?
the thing is, I'm definitely going to go to one of these nests.
Yeah.
Like, apparently the nest rotation happens just before the event as well. So that's like kind of good and kind of bad.
You know where to go though.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out. But the bad thing is that like sometimes if you're unfamiliar with an area, you don't know like the best.
Yeah.
route
That's.
like that
I
to
get you.
do
I
it,
get you. Yeah. But you're in like a big city, so people could probably find out,
I'll be
like,
exactly
spots,
in it.
right?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I kind of do, yeah, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to do the bet because
Why?
the reason I don't want to do it
The bet's
is
with me.
because
It's not like with the biggest grind in the world.
I know, but it's because I've got like a lot of stuff on already. Yeah.
Well,
That
you
I've
don't
got
have
do,
to
so
win the
it's
bet.
like,
You would just have to do one.
yeah, true that. Well, okay, depends on what the forfeit is.
Okay,
then,
what do you want? What do you want the punishment to be?
Nothing that's going to affect our current bet. Because
you just feel like you're a little behind already, huh?
Yeah.
You're like
let's
a
just say.
little okay.
Yeah.
How about this?
But
Loser of the bet.
hmm.
Let me take a look real quick at the Master League
Yeah.
ratings. We got Master League Premier, right? So how do I exclude legendaries?
Exclamation mark legendary.
Oh, okay, and then exclamation mark mythical.
Mythical, yeah.
What? That doesn't work.
What on PV Poke?
Do I need to do the ampersand?
Yeah. In between them, yeah.
Okay, and then Ultra Beast.
Yeah, but I don't know how to write Ultra Beast in the thing.
I think that
never
worked.
figured it out. Does it work? Yeah.
Wait, let me see. Actually, oh yeah. You type Ultra Beast with no space. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it still has the freaking numbers. Never mind. I was gonna say okay. Anyway, let's take a look at. There's a lot of things in this top 100 area. How about this? The loser has to run something in the top outside of the top 200. So 201 and below in Master League.
Master League or Master Premier? Master League.
What do you want to? I think we should do Master
honestly, okay, I'd be game for that, but it has to be the
Premier
Master League rotation after EUIC.
Why?
Because
so
yeah, because I don't want to play Master League this part of the season, but I definitely want to play it next part of the season.
Elo, right?
Yeah. I just because I want to get into Master League, but I don't want to do it
in Open Master League, right? In Open Master League, you have to run
something
for a full day of sets on stream.
Yeah, I'm so game.
200 plus.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything outside 200. Let me go. 201 Shadow Typhlosion. Samross 202.
I've actually got a Shadow Typhlosion.
203.
Okay.
Shadow Gliscor's 205. Just put how far?
Archeops,
or whatever. Archelops, whatever. The rock bird is 206.
Okay.
Electrovire is 207, so you might.
Yeah.
Quavel, yeah.
Yeah, Quavel's got a good moveset.
Liquidation. Yeah, what are you gonna beat with that moveset though?
I don't know.
You ain't gonna beat no Palkia.
Is there really nothing good here? Wow.
I don't see any.
There's Registeel.
200. Registeel Master League is terrible.
Yeah, but you can
what
probably
CP
do something,
you hit?
Right?
What are you going
to I love how they've even recommended use return.
Yeah.
Why is it using return?
I don't know.
Why is it using return over focus?
I don't know.
Though. Okay. Well, Alolan Ninetales.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
With all these dragons running around, you know.
You goose to Dialga, you goose to Giratina.
Okay, Powder Slow Alolan Ninetales, yeah. Avoid the Dialga.
That is a Powder Slow
you lose to Giratina?
Yeah. It's the Powder Slow variant. Yeah, that's all right. I can't wait to see you do this.
yeah. I'll come up with something good. Look at this Shadow Alakazam. Yeah.
If you want to run a Registeel, you're gonna have to use XL Registeel candy to make this. Like you have the power. So the thing is, you have to power something up you don't have already powered up. Right? You can't be like, I already got a Hundo Ampharos made. I'll run that. You got to make it from scratch.
Okay. I haven't really got anything made anyway, so
just to be safe, right? Yeah, you make it from scratch and then run it in full day sets.
Okay.
It's pretty fair, right?
Yeah, we can. Okay, let's do that.
So we'll take a screenshot at the beginning of Weather Week, and take a screenshot after, and we'll reveal on our episode.
If luck is on my side, the rotation hits me with an Audino Nest round the corner. Hey, I'll be there 3 times a day.
Dude, if luck is on your side, you're catching more than 1 Pokemon per 20 minutes, right? Like, I don't know what you're doing during our last Stardust bet.
I have no idea, bro. Do you know one thing I was thinking? I was like, so I went and grinded a Fungus Nest, and I was like, did I even put a star piece on? And now, obviously, I probably did. The thing is, I probably did, right?
Don't say obviously. You had to think about it. If you had to think about it, I don't think it's that obvious.
Because this is the thing, when I saw some people who were like doing the Audino Nest, and I was like, oh, that'd be sick, and I was considering going to one in Tokyo, but I just didn't have enough time. And but it was only an afterthought where I was like, oh, and then I can put a star piece on as well. And I was like, rah, that should not have been an afterthought, really. Like,
I'm not worried.
So I was really wondering. I was
you all let us know what you want to see Anicor run in Open Master League. You let us know.
Yeah. Any recommendations from actual Master League specialists? Hey. Well, I mean, yeah. I'll take them. I could win this. You never know, innit? Yeah. If that rotation happens, Hey, if that rotation, yeah.
I might win
And
this
I
bet
got
just
4.
catching stray Paris. Who cares about the Audino?
Oh yeah, true that. I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a bit more difficult, but it's fine, I can bolster it with my Audino nests, so
You're in London too. It's partly cloudy a lot there,
lower the
right?
gap. Yeah, bruv. Hey, we live in partly cloudy. Is that what it needs to be? Partly cloudy?
Yeah, for
Because the risk is
Audino.
that it's cloudy and not partly cloudy,
No, it has to be partly
which is
cloudy for the
also
Audino
is a
boosted. Yeah.
oh, so it could still be an issue.
I think you have bigger issues to worry about than that. But anyway, well, you talked about APC signups already, right? We
Yeah.
are on season 14 officially, but season 17, I think, or 18. I don't even know. I only know based on I think it's season 18 of like the actual how many seasons, but
Right.
canonically it's season 14 based on the Niantic seasons.
Okay, I understand that they took out like the relax seasons, right? So that was 2. Where
It's
did
just like I
they
think I don't know who did the numbers, but they essentially just like
did
synced
they
it
just
up with
miss
the
out some stuff?
no, they synced it up with the actual seasons that Niantic was also
Oh,
hosting when they
I
started
see.
hosting
Okay.
seasons.
Okay.
And I think there was just early on GBL seasons were much shorter, so they just like lumped a few of them together.
Oh, I see.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is like whatever. It's like that's not
Yeah.
a big deal either way. I don't really care about
Fair
that. What's your rank at? How much GBL have you done? How many battles have you done?
All right. So
Okay, so I'll put it this way. I ain't gonna say what rank I am,
okay.
but I missed one set prior to today, so like 5 battles. But I banked one, so it's like I have my regular battles.
Okay.
But then I didn't do a single battle today, so I missed a total of 6 sets, possible
Okay.
sets.
I haven't played a single game yet.
Man's gonna be ranked 10 when I hit
yet.
expert 2850. You
Yeah.
you might as well just look into this Misty costume already. You know,
Nah,
I mean,
I'm not like
not every orange wig is only gonna look the same. So I want to make sure you get the right one. You know,
look, I'm not throwing this away, yeah. But realistically, I was like, look, the season start day, yeah. I was like, I was with someone that day, and then the next day there was like some like cherry blossom festival,
no, look,
and then the
we
next day I
already
had to like
established you're
prepare
the
for
king of
traveling and
excuses,
stuff like
right?
that. So
I'm gonna
honestly,
call
like
you. I'm gonna call you Mr. John, right? Because in the Smash community, they would say anytime you have excuses like this, they call them Johns, right? Like no more
okay.
Johns, no more Johns. But you're
So yeah,
Mr.
Bear
John
Johns at the
here,
moment. Yeah,
Mr.
I can't
John.
lie. The thing is, and I was thinking, I was just like, okay, well, would it have been better for me to just do some like random rush sets as opposed to like actually do the focus sets that I'm intending to do? And I guess I decided that it would probably not be better because I don't want to like, add that to the like, things I was doing in it. So basically, I'm starting possibly today, but definitely tomorrow. I won't be missing a single set at all, and I'll be doing it like when I say like, bruv, because this is a part of my EUIC preparation anyway, innit? Yeah. And although it's not the focal part of my EUIC preparation, it's still the case that I'm not going to be missing a single set. So, I don't know if numbers wise, like because it's not a legend bet, yeah, I'm not completely sure if like I have put myself at a disadvantage. Yeah. Because if it was a legend bet, then it's kind of fine, innit? Yeah. I don't know like how it works when it gets to like towards that elo in it, yeah. But I'm hoping that I haven't, and that as long as I'm just consistent with it from now on, that it shouldn't be an issue in it. So I took that gamble, yeah, and I'm willing to go through with it. Do you know what I mean? So
It's too late
yeah,
now.
yeah, well, yeah. This is the thing,
Look,
I took the 1 week handicap gamble, yeah,
look.
and I feel like it's not going to put me behind. So
I made a
we'll
mistake by
see, we'll see.
underestimating you last season. I will fully admit
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But the biggest mistake you could have made is beating me at a bet. Because be sure I'm never going to taste defeat again, right? You thought I was motivated before on bets. Oh, I am going to be motivated, right?
Bruv. Yeah, and you know what?
Don't bruv
Like,
me.
oh yeah,
Bruv
I want to say,
yourself.
I don't necessarily have a leg to stand on right now because I haven't started in it yet.
Yeah.
But when I tell you the amount of effort that I'm going to be putting into this, yeah,
Might be a little
it's a
too
lot. It's
late.
a lot.
We'll see.
Hopefully, it's not a little too late, but it's a lot. It's a lot of effort.
Yeah, and that
So,
effort's only increasing by the day. So
yeah, well, it's the same amount of effort, really. I was always going to put in this much effort. So,
no, I mean
you know.
the more you put off the GBL. Like I
Yeah,
said,
well,
I'm
I
not going
mean,
to be
I'll
missing
be putting in
sets.
this. Yeah,
Today I did
yeah.
miss my
So we'll
sets,
see.
but looking back
Yeah,
on it, I haven't. You haven't done
yeah,
a
yeah.
single
It's not.
battle yet. I'm over
Yeah,
100 battles. Ooh,
yeah. It's not
we're
really.
chilling. We are
Yeah.
chilling.
So the only downside I realized was uh the Loudred thing, because now like that this actually puts me at like a genuine disadvantage for that,
Actually,
where it's
if
like
you think about it, though, it's actually
uh
not so bad for you
why
because I'm so far ahead of you. By the
uh
time I hit vet that 2,500 mark,
oh,
you
I
still
can
might
do the
be at
Loudred
rank.
in the
You still might be
yeah.
rank 3.
You're right. Yeah. Nah,
In
you're
fact,
right. You're
who
right.
would have thought we're
This
seeing
is
Loudred mirrors?
yeah.
We might even see a whisper against your Loudred. Man, you got the evolution up on them.
Hey, I'll be winning CAP the whole time. Yeah. I prepared for
Yeah.
this.
I was like, never did
I
I think I
prepared
see
for
a
this.
Loudred mirror matchup in Master League, but here we are.
Oh man, yeah. So
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
Actually, that genuinely puts me at a slight advantage because
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
I
If you want to see
can
it as an advantage, go for it. Right, go for it.
I can win these Loudred
Yeah,
matchups in rank
you're starting
16.
when you
You know,
finally get your
like
elo. It's going to be at like 874. I'm
no
going to be a
worries.
solid
No
2,000
worries.
points ahead of you at that point.
Yeah, so it's we'll check in again next week in terms of, you know, obviously. So what we're looking at, it's a bit of a shorter week because we'll probably be recording earlier than this time in it. Yeah, so we'll have a solid like maybe
I'll
like
have my elo
5
by
days.
next week for sure.
Yeah. So, and we'll see my win rate over 5 days. I mean, maybe it doesn't say too much, but
It's not about your win
uh,
rate. The early ranks are just a
yeah,
grind though, because you have to get through
yeah,
all these
that's
like
the only issue.
battles.
That's why I was thinking like, oh, should I just bang out some like really rubbish sets just to get like the games out of the way? But I decided against it, and maybe I don't know, maybe I don't know if that was a good or bad choice, but it is what it is, isn't it? You know, I
I
made the
can't
choice.
wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Honestly, though, this month in general, I'm so excited about this month in terms of just like EUIC for me is going to be my last big tournament for a while, because like I'm
How many
focusing
points
on
you
other
at?
stuff. 180. I haven't done any locals.
Oh,
There's
180
like
is easy. No, honestly, if you beat like 3 or 4 opponents, I think you're at
yeah,
200
I'll get like
points.
100 or something. Yeah, yeah,
100
exactly.
plus. And then you have a
Yeah,
bunch of locals that you've been trying to set up in London
yeah.
from
There's
a
apparently 2
distance.
cups next weekend as well. So
Oh, you're chilling.
yeah.
So
So
the
I
real
think
question is
well,
you're probably qualified for Worlds. The real question is, are you're going, right? You're going for sure. So you're going to compete,
yeah,
right?
I'm going because like my brother's going and like I want to see people and
Did your
stuff like
brother
that.
qualify?
Nah, he's only I think he's got like 80 points or something like that. He only
Oh,
really
okay.
entered like one regional, and
Gotcha.
I think he might have some local points
He's
actually as
going
well.
to UIC?
Yeah, 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 he'll be there as
Oh,
well. Yeah.
man. I'm
Um,
sorry. I'm sorry, young Kaz. I had to get your brother to dress up as Misty for the whole event, but
do
yeah.
you know what the thing is though? Yeah, I was thinking, I was
Take a
like,
picture for the fam.
I was
Little
like, you
family
know what,
portrait.
like the one thing I can do to like if it gets to that point,
He could
yeah.
dress up as Brock, right?
No, no. I was like, if it gets to the point where I have to dress up as Misty, yeah, one thing I can do, yeah, is just, and I'm gonna be training this month anyway, yeah. So maybe I just like move a bit more towards like hypertrophy training, yeah, and just like bulk up a bit, and then it'll be funny. Do you know what I mean? Innit? Yeah, because
Oh,
then it would
trust
just
me,
be like
it's
a
gonna be
super
funny
wham Misty,
regardless of
like
how you look, right?
yeah, yeah.
What kind of training do you do? You do like
Funnier.
some like what kind of
Um,
training are you doing?
I really only do like cardio and then just like some elements of strength training, but like nothing. Like I don't
Oh,
really have like a fixed plan these days,
I
in
thought
it.
you
But
did
like
some
I'm
like
thinking
mixed
of playing
martial arts
mine.
or something. Didn't you do like Muay Thai or something
I
for a
was doing
while?
Muay Thai, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't know
That's
if
like
I'm gonna do Muay Thai here because like the closest gym is kind of far, and
yeah.
I probably won't consider it for a few months at least.
I got you. I got you.
I want to do something which is like relatively accessible, but I'm
I
gonna be
started doing
doing
some
like a bit more
boxing
yoga as
actually.
well. Is it? How'd
Mhm.
you find it?
It's fun.
Have you ever boxed before?
No. But
No.
there's a
Okay.
punching bag in my apartment, and then I went to
Sick.
one of my friends has been going to a boxing gym, and he has
Mm,
like a guest pass, I guess. Like I think he has like 4 or 5 a month, which works out
nice.
perfectly. So I could go like potentially like once a week to go,
Yeah.
and they're teaching me some stuff there. It was my wrist was starting to hurt. I was like, is this right? I was
Yeah.
like, my wrist is gonna break or what? I just gotta build up the tolerance, but I think I just need to
Okay.
work on it.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Let me just say this one thing. Yeah.
Uh,
So,
ready,
um,
ready.
viewers and listeners. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to see the celebrity boxing match between Caleb Peng and Anicor
What?
next
You
year.
want to
Yeah,
box me
put
next
your
year?
comments down
Why are
below.
we doing
How
next
much
year?
do you weigh? How much do you weigh? Oh, because like
Uh
I'm thinking when we'd be in the same
oh, I don't know.
like
I haven't weighed
environment.
myself in a while, but I'm probably
Okay,
like 140 something, 40 something pounds.
what's that in kilos?
Uh, what is that in kilos? I'm probably like
Let's see.
145. Let's be.
Oh, okay, that's 63 kilos. Yeah, I'm about that. I'm about that weight class as well. I think I'm around 65 or
I'm
something like
not
that.
at my peak
So,
strength,
uh
but let
huh.
me have you. Have you ever benched before
Uh,
in weight training?
Nah, so I've not done like as in I've
What
benched,
kind
but
of weight
I
training do you
don't
do?
know my numbers in it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
not like
Well, let me put this way. I was only a few pounds
okay,
heavier at the time.
okay.
But throw in 290 in that calculator for kilos.
290.
I've benched that before. I can pack a punch.
Yo, that sounds like loads.
I
Okay.
actually have a video of that too if you need confirmation
So
on that. I used to do
okay.
Olympic weightlifting. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
That's
used to be
true.
I'm a or I had
Yeah.
to get recertified. I had to get my thing renewed, but I was a certified weightlifting coach actually. I used to coach a bunch of
Okay.
people. So
Bro, do you know what? Yeah, you
I'm
know what
just
the thing
translating the
is?
strength to
Yeah.
technique now, you know.
Okay. You know what? I
You know, I'm like
genuinely,
Goku, right? I've been training under like 1,000 gravity with weighted stuff. Now I just need to figure out the
Well,
form and how
okay,
to go
okay.
Super
We'll see if
Saiyan.
it
We good?
translates that way.
Ah,
Yeah,
Super Saiyan.
we'll
I'm
see if
already
it
Super
translates
Saiyan.
that
What do
way.
you mean?
Yeah.
Look at there.
Yeah, well, it's looking a bit like Super
Yeah,
Saiyan
you
point
pushed me
five.
to the
So
Super Saiyan stage. You know, you were Frieza.
um,
You
look,
gotta look like Frieza with a
genuine.
haircut. Is that or Krillin? So you
Yeah,
can
true
take your
that.
pick.
Yeah. I'll go with Frieza. Yeah, you know what? Genuine. Yeah, like if anyone wants to see the celebrity boxing match next
Between
year,
me
yeah,
and
I'm
you,
so game.
I'd be
I'm
down.
so game. We can make it a charity thing as well, yeah, and stream it and
I'd
stuff
be
like that. But I
down.
think that'd be
Oh,
so
that'd be
sick.
so much fun. No, I've always wanted
Yeah,
to do one of those things, but I
yeah.
feel like we need more than just me and you. We would have to get other people. Oh, you
Maybe we
know,
could find
here's
some
the
people
thing.
interested.
No,
Uh,
no lie. One of my
uh,
patrons, he's been a patron for me for years, right? One of my big
uh-huh.
supporters. He owns 2 boxing gyms in the
Oh,
US.
oh,
He would probably. The thing is, we could easily like, or not easily, but I could talk to him,
yeah.
and I think he'd be willing to do it, right, for like charity
Mhm.
and stuff. Have an event there. The thing is, we would need to stream it, of course, right?
Yeah.
But I think if we get the streaming set up and
Uh,
everything, you know what we could do? I don't know if I get
uh.
in trouble from TPCI on this. I'll probably have to ask some people. But you know how there's chess boxing, right?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
always want to do
Pokemon
Pokemon
boxing.
Go boxing.
Oh,
I talked about this with
that's
Speedy back in the
sick.
day on the podcast.
That is
How cool would
sick.
that be, right?
Oh my
First
days.
to win a best of like 7 or something, or get knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't know realistically how fast someone get knocked out or quit in boxing, right?
Yeah.
But like
That'd be
maybe
no,
you
but
put
that'd be
like
sick because like
like a
rounds. So like
yeah
generally rounds are like 3 minutes, right? And
yeah
like a GBL Great League match is probably around the same length as well. Do you know what I
yeah
mean?
yeah
So I think yeah. I
yeah.
think that actually sounds sick.
GBL or do we just
Um,
show 6? I think
no,
show
show
6 would
six,
be
show six.
show
Yeah,
6.
100%
Yeah.
show six. But like, as
But
in
if I
like
get
a
team
match is
cup, I'm
usually
just
about 3 minutes,
screwed.
you know. Like, but no, but then you have to make up for it in the boxing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You
yeah.
know. So honestly,
Uh,
I think that sounds actually sick.
Pokemon Go boxing, right?
Yeah.
Coming to you
So
all.
yeah, if you guys want to see it, yeah,
Would you fly to North Carolina?
I would actually. So I
Yeah,
think what
North
we'd have
Carolina's
to
actually not that
do,
far too. It's on the East Coast.
yeah,
It
what
actually
I
might.
think we'd have to do, yeah. So we have like your team almost, yeah. So
Oh
like
no.
you
The
have
thing
some
is,
American players.
they have a bunch of regionals and like
Exactly.
Charlotte's in
Yeah.
North Carolina. You
So
just time around it.
we double it up with like we go for a
Yeah, but what
regional
do you do?
and
Do you do the boxing thing on the Friday or the Sunday? Like, if you do Friday, people go show up like with black eyes, dude. Tournament.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like a lot
No,
of
we
people
do it
just fly
Sunday
out
night. Yeah, Sunday
Sunday
night.
night.
Yeah, I guess.
That could
Yeah.
be dope.
Yeah, because
We
I
have
mean the
like a
thing
year
is,
to
yeah.
plan it, right? Because it'll be sometime next year.
Exactly. Yeah. And like we'll do your team, my team, yeah. So I bring over some Europeans,
But they got to
yeah,
be
and
like
like
similar
maybe
weight
like
class,
two.
right?
Yeah. So we see if there's anyone interested.
Oh,
And then
dude, I'm trying to think of
that would
Americans.
actually be so sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rice Occasion is a big dude, but I don't know if he could pack a punch or not.
But he's got a year to train. And he's familiar with sports as well. So it's not like he's like,
Yeah, he loves
uh
basketball though. But yeah, I'm trying to think of people
uh
that like really
We got whiskey
got?
ITJ, yeah,
Does he
pokey
fight
gains,
though?
yeah, they don't fight in it, but like
Yeah.
the big guys,
They
you
are
know,
big. No, you know who you got?
Lorenzo, yeah,
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but you had to convince me to
Bruv.
fly to a different country for this, right?
Yeah,
Me, it's a
it's
little
true,
bit
yeah,
it's a little
yeah.
bit easier.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, we've got a year. I reckon I could probably find someone who'd be interested, even if it's like only one other person or like something like that. Or
Yeah.
if I get a player from the US as well,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can
like
show up with
worst
your
case.
brother and be like, this is all
Yeah,
I could get. Oh, that'd
Aye,
be
he'll be on it.
fun.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
let's figure it out. I think it could be good, especially for charity.
yeah,
I think it
yeah.
could be a really good idea. All right.
A event of the season, event of the
Dude, that
year.
would be dope. I mean, you have
Yeah,
months to train.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, bro. I got a really good gym near me as well. You know,
dude, I'm
that I
getting
can
old
literally.
though, man. I don't know if I could.
Nah, but what's our age difference? Like what? 3 years? There's barely any difference. You know,
What year? How old are you turning this year?
I'm turning 30.
Oh yeah, that's 3 years.
Yeah. So it's not
Okay,
even that much. You
I
know,
thought you were way
yeah,
younger than me. I don't know why I thought you were way
no.
younger.
Thank you.
Uh, okay.
Sound
All
a little
right.
bit younger.
Stay tuned, everyone. Tell us if you think it's a good idea or not. I think it'd be a
Stay
great
tuned.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The battle cats. Yeah. The
Oh,
literal battle
the
cats.
battle
Yeah.
cats. We can make it just like a yearly charity
Yeah.
thing potentially.
Yeah. All right, that'd be sick. That'd actually be sick.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'll have to think this.
Yeah.
I need to think out the logistics, but I think we can make
Yeah.
this work. We'll have to
Mhm.
maybe get some other people to help with the planning because I freaking hate that stuff. But I'll do it if I have
Yeah.
to. But okay,
Okay.
I like it. I like it. All right. Speaking of GBL, I mean we kind of got sidetracked from
Mhm.
GBL, but
Yeah.
the tea that is this week. What's the tea? So I saw this tweet over the weekend from Emmy Weedle,
Mhm.
one of our previous world champions, say, I don't usually make posts like this, but today is different. I assume lots of you might not know, but the Japanese PvP community has been an absolute mess. I won't go into details on what caused this, but it turns out that Japanese players have been group sniping at the top of the leaderboard. As someone who enjoys playing GBL a lot and tries their best to climb as high as possible, you can only imagine how shocked and disappointed I was to find out that some players I highly respected for their consistent performances turned out to be cheating. There is obviously no rule that I know of that disallows sniping, but right now I'm just thinking how many games I've lost due to immature behavior. Last season, I proceeded to reach number 2 on the leaderboard 5 times, but not the very top. Would that have been different? I really hope that this can somehow change, but I feel like it will just be hard for me to play versus any Japanese player on the leaderboards anymore without thinking it could be a snipe or being scared of getting sniped immediately afterwards. There were a lot of responses to this, of course. Ishikawa Boy, one of our prominent Japanese players and world's competitor and content creator, also says, "Nice to meet you. I understand how you feel. Please understand that not all Japanese are sniping. Some Japanese are fighting fair and square." And of course, everybody was like, "Yeah, hello. Yes, that is very important. I know there are a lot of amazing Japanese players who are actually good, but because of everything that's happened, it's hard to know who's good and who isn't." Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, and some other stuff like King GBL says, "Is King GBL? Is he Japanese?
So
Yeah,
he's
Japanese as
not
well.
Japanese, but he lives in Japan.
Lives in Japan. Okay,
So yeah,
but they said
I don't know about that.
it's not just Japanese players. There are a lot of players up there with joint spreadsheeting and sniping. I had similar experience with a popular group of players. I kept changing my playstyle because they knew what moves I threw on the last person and what the team was. And then, and Emilio says, yes, I realize there will probably be other players doing this too. However, I won't make any claims on this I haven't seen. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on this? Because I know you're a lot more in tune with the APAC community and the
Yeah.
Japanese community than I
So
am.
yeah. So initially what I'll say is they had a bit of a controversy just before this as well, where the
Controversy?
player who
Is that how
yeah,
you
so
say it?
yeah,
Isn't
why
it
what
controversy? You say controversy? Is that an English thing?
yeah, but I don't know which controversy. I feel like some people say both, and I don't know which one's right. But
Oh, I've only heard
controversy and
controversy. No, I'm not trying
yeah,
to
well,
mess up your train of thought, but I'm
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
hey, if I can pick up all the English, I'll
yeah.
take it. Because every time I go to London, I
No.
don't know what they're saying, even though they're speaking English. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying right now to me. Like, this is harder for me to understand than when I was in Germany. It's just
Well,
the English
controversy.
slang. It's the English slang. Yeah.
But they yeah. So basically, the player who finished number one on the leaderboards
Yeah.
last season, is actually the brother of Jesus AWC, who's like very prominent Japanese player. So hasn't really had the world's experience yet. So people who aren't familiar with the Japanese scene might not know him. But if you've been at the top of the leaderboards, you'll know who he is. So he's like a young player, really good.
Wait, who is this again?
His younger brother, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus AWC.
Yeah. I faced him a couple times.
So his brother is finished number one on the leaderboards, right? And
Who's his
actually, it was
brother?
another Japanese. His brother is like something like Kan Ziari or. I don't know.
I've probably
There's
seen
some
it a couple
numbers in
times,
there
but
as
I
well.
just
So like,
didn't.
when you see the name, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that name." But yeah, so basically his brother, so it was actually another Japanese player who accused his brother of some form of cheating, being like, how is it possible that at such a high elo that he's been able to play all his matches this season? Or something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
And so there was quite a bit of like controversy around that, where people were accusing his brother of like, certain underhanded tactics. But I think also it was like disproven by looking at the stats on 9DB, where it was like showing that he only played 5 battles on one day or something along those lines,
Okay.
So but then obviously this thing comes around. Now I know Emmy Weedle hasn't put out any evidence, and on purpose, because he doesn't want to target specific people, but I've seen the evidence personally. And I think the reason why a lot of players are saying, well, you don't want to like treat all players this way, and why Emmy Weedle's making this thing, is because the players who are involved are top players. Yeah, these are players who arguably don't need to be doing this, right?
Well,
Like
then
they're super.
who actually needs to be doing this, right? What's the
Well,
need
yeah,
for it?
exactly in it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but I
it's
get what
true.
you're
It's
saying. You're
true, right?
saying like, oh, they're
Yeah,
not like first time leaderboarders.
yeah.
They're not like
These
people
are
that
players who are
struggle. They're
like,
like already really good players that
mhm,
constantly hit the top of the leaderboard. Maybe have hit number
exactly.
one
Yeah,
themselves, but they're just
you
doing it
know,
to just be on the top of the leaderboard even more.
exactly. They've even like some of these players have even had good show 6 experience as well. So it's like it's not even like they're solely GBL
Do you know some of
players.
these players?
Um, yeah. And
Ta-
honestly,
ta-
it's a bit disappointing to see it
yeah,
because,
a lot
like,
have
the thing
I'm
is,
out of curiosity. You don't have to name names.
Mm,
Did
uh,
any of them go to Worlds last year?
um, I
I'm
think,
not trying to try which one. I'm trying to see
yeah. I think a
how
couple.
deep
I
this
think a
runs.
couple at least. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But at least, a couple went to Worlds.
Hmm.
Um, but the
It's
thing
not
is that
illegal
like
though. Like there's no rule against it.
this is the thing, yeah. And you know what the thing is? I think
I'm not
when we
supporting
had
it,
the
but I'm just saying.
sniping
Yeah.
conversation,
Uh huh.
like with Axon and the Daramaka and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah.
My perspective on it is that you know, these things are going to happen, right?
Hmm.
And you almost have to consider it as part of the format, right? Because information exchanges happen. Yeah, it happens in real life tournaments. Before open team sheets were a thing, yeah,
Yeah.
information exchange would be how you get information on your opponent. Yeah, like these kind of advantages, they just exist. Yeah, there's nothing that you can really do to stop it,
Right.
and you kind of have to consider it a part of the game. How it differs though is that in this situation, you have one person, let's take the example of Emmy Weedle. You have one person queuing into Emmy Weedle, and as soon as they finish their battle, they're then putting up in a little group chat being like, I just played Emmy Weedle. He's playing right now, and he's playing with these mons. Feel free to queue up right now. You're going to get a game, and you're going to get a win if you use
Yeah.
whatever's countering this. And and again, people who might not be playing in leaderboard elo, you obviously can't do that, right? But when you're playing in like high leaderboard
You play the
elo, you're
same
pretty
people.
much playing the same people. So if
Dude, I
one
faced
person
this
is queuing,
like one like last season. I
Mhm.
think it was the Go Battle week. I was like pretty high in the leaderboard at the time. I faced the same guy 3 times in one night. Like, you know. So
yeah, yeah,
I was familiar with their team. You know.
yeah,
Funny enough, on the
so.
second or third game, they didn't seem to know my team somehow. I was like, it's like, how did you forget the Bastion? Like,
Yeah, so I think it's like and when we talk about like spreadsheeting and stuff like that, I feel like that comes under the information thing as well, where it's like you either write in a spreadsheet or you have really good memory. Yeah, like sometimes they're basically the same, where is just going to happen, right? People are going to use these tactics. People are going to remember things. People are going to tell their friends. Da, 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 da. But when it comes down to this situation, it does feel a bit more targeted. And personally, I like to be a bit more like uh, a bit more like forgiving on these kind of issues, right? Because they are gray areas, and I feel like a lot of the time when you're playing games, complaining about like the game or something like this is not really helping you improve, right? If something's happening that's consistently happening, you kind of need to consider it as a part of the game if you then want to advance past it, right? So that's generally how I feel on these sort of subjects. So when it comes to like sniping and stuff like that, I feel like, you know what? It's going to happen. Yeah. And if you want to be butthurt about it, then you're just not going to get over it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But this does seem a bit more personal. And it does feel a bit disappointing because personally, I'm a big proponent of Japanese players. Yeah. I love gassing them up. And, recognizing a couple of the names that are like, doing this stuff is a bit disheartening, to be honest.
It's weird because like I think it's not explicitly against any rules, but it feels grimy, right? There's a lot of things that like aren't written in rules that are still a little grimy to do, in my opinion, right? Like for example, in my opinion, this is really grimy. Is like disputing something that you know you shouldn't have won, right?
Yeah.
Because you know you could dispute it and get a win off it. That's grimy. Yes, it's not. It's within the rules to do that, but that's just bad sportsmanship, in my opinion. And everyone that's done that I'm aware of, oh, I've thought less of them since, right?
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I
True.
remember every name, every person that's done that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of top battlers in the world. Some of them I'm friends with too that have done that, and I've definitely lost respect for a lot of them, right, over the time. So that being said, I think I don't know what's the solution there. There's nothing stopping them, right?
Well,
Do
there's
you think that
nothing
this
stopping
public
them.
pressure is like making them discouraging them, or do
I
you
think
know
so.
that, or no? You don't know
I
that for
mean, I
sure.
don't know it, but I think so. I was gonna chat to someone about it because, like, I know some of like their teammates, and I was just
Yeah.
gonna be like, you know, I guess kind of like, I guess they would probably understand how it comes across,
Yeah.
for other people anyway, right? So it's probably not necessary, but I think I feel like the pressure would because
Let me send you a name real
I think
quick. Just can you say if
sometimes,
this person was on that list or no? Out of
yeah,
curiosity.
yeah,
They were?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that
How many
I think
people do you know how many people roughly? I'm just curious
no,
on that
no, no, no,
list. Oh, you don't know who
no,
has
we
that
don't
list.
know, no, no.
Uh,
But I think also when I can understand sometimes, right? Let's say you've been playing GBL for seasons, yeah. You do the whole like information sharing, it just like becomes sort of a norm, right?
mm-hmm.
Um and you've got your own little groups, and I can see how maybe this started one time and nobody really thought anything of it, and then it just continued as a thing, and then eventually like someone calls it out and is like, yo, this is not okay, right?
Yeah.
I think once that happens, like I can understand getting lost in the source at the beginning, yeah,
Yeah.
and making that mistake, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, so then I think now, if it still continues after that, then it becomes way more of a conscious decision. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I can be forgiving in the first part where it's like you can get lost in the source, right? You can just not realize the impact of what you're doing, and then all of a sudden like it's like, oh, I didn't actually see it from this perspective.
Yeah.
I've just almost been a norm, right? But I think if these players keep on doing it now, then it feels like a very conscious decision, and then it's like, do you know what I mean? And it's like it's not acceptable, right? It's
Right.
obviously not acceptable in the beginning, but you can be more forgiving of it at the moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like they won't go forward, especially because a lot of these players, they're very serious about GBL. They're not like that's a majority of their gameplay. They engage with the game quite a lot,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't see them feeling happy about the fact that they're going forward in a pretty morally questionable way. But yeah, the initial thing is a bit disappointing, to be honest.
Right.
you know
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. Not super surprised though, right? I mean, since the inception of GBL, there's always been people trying to skirt around the system in very,
Mm-hmm.
very explicit ways, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the early stages with like the airplane mode trick, which no longer is a thing.
Wait, what was that? Because
It
I
was
guess I
like if
wasn't
you
there.
battled in like airplane mode or whatever, it
Uh,
like lagged your opponent. Like if you like turned
oh,
on and off your airplane mode in the middle of battle, it like lagged your opponent out or something.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was actually I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but it used to be I think it was confirmed because some people tried to replicate it and it worked. And
Mm-hmm.
then Niantic was able to patch it pretty quickly, I believe.
Mad.
This is like very early on. This is
Yeah.
2022, like February, right? Like right
Mad.
when
Mad.
GBL launched.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that being said, I think yeah, I think hopefully people kind of come to their senses a little bit on that and reflect on it.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know if
also again, like for players who are taking part in show six, yeah, for players who are just taking part in GBL, there's almost like less of a uh less of a reason for them to change. Do you know what I mean? Isn't it? Like if
but
GBL
what's
is
the
your
point?
literally the
What do
only
you
thing you do,
accomplish from this? It's just like a
I don't know,
vanity
bro.
thing.
I
You
don't know.
just got
Yeah,
number one, right?
people are different, you know. But I feel like
Yeah.
for people who do take part in the show six stuff and are, you know, planning to compete in qualifiers, planning to compete in PGA CS and then Worlds, I think there's definitely a big reason for them to stop doing this
Yeah.
because you know they're interacting with this community and they will be interacting with this community for the foreseeable
Right.
future,
Right.
and you know they don't want to have this sort of a thingy on their name in it. So
Yeah. Well, it's also just
um
like people that will do anything to win always concern me, right?
mm,
Because if they don't have the kind of moral understanding of knowing like that that's maybe not the best thing to do or it's wrong to do,
mhm.
what's going to stop you from like where does the line end, right, for that person,
Yeah,
right? What are they
it's
not
true, it's
willing to
true.
do to win? If
Yeah,
they're doing willing to do this to win, what are they not willing to do,
it's
right?
true.
Or
Yeah.
what else are they willing to do, I should say.
Mhm.
I think that's where it gets a little bit concerning, right? Because this in
Yeah,
itself, sure, isolated, whatever, but people that are willing to excuse that or do those kind of things is I don't know,
yeah,
a little bit disappointing.
yeah.
But you know what? We all know that even if Anicor's in that group, ain't nothing gonna stop him from putting on that Missy outfit.
Hey, bruv, if I'm in that group, yeah, I'm in that group for a reason, yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
and
If
that means you
you're,
lost. Yeah.
yeah, if you're in that group, like, I know they lowered that threshold down to beyond just leaderboard players.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Um. Yeah.
so yeah, definitely an interesting situation for sure. I think I've met Emmy Widow a couple times, so I know that you know, he doesn't put these kind of stuff out there just to
Yeah.
stir
Yeah. Yeah.
trouble.
For
And
sure.
seems like you've seen it too. So I mean, obviously that
Yeah.
doesn't confirm anything without sharing evidence, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there's a
But
couple eyewitness accounts, I guess, on that.
yeah, and I think there's also not really any denying it. Do you know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
nobody's
yeah,
really outright denied it. People have just been like, it's not everyone,
right, right,
but they're not denying that it is some. So, uh, yeah.
yeah.
Um, but you know what? Again, I think
Don't
the
hate on
players
any Japanese
involved.
players from this conversation.
Yeah,
Obviously, like
yeah.
we
This
don't know
is.
who it
I
is.
think
This is
this
like
is
a
an
very
important thing,
small
right?
subgroup of
Yeah,
players that happen to be Japanese, right? Like it's
yeah,
not like the vast majority of Japanese players are not doing this, right?
yeah. This is true.
Just
So
like if they had like NA players or American players doing this or English players, like it's not going to
yeah.
be the majority of these players, right? So
Literally, if it was like just Battle Cats doing it, yeah, you wouldn't be like, oh, the whole of NA is like doing it, right? You know.
that's true. That's true.
So yeah, I think that's an important thing to take away from this is that you know don't actually color all Japanese players with the same brush.
Yeah.
In addition, yeah, if you're not on the leaderboard, yeah, trust me, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
like just
This is why
don't
Anicor ain't
even.
stressed about this combo. He know it ain't gonna affect him. He's seen
Hey,
all
they
these
ain't even
names. He's
no
like,
leaderboard
dang,
right
I
now.
haven't seen one of these players in forever.
They ain't
I didn't
even
even
on
know they still
leaderboard right
GBL'd.
now. But yeah, generally, I'm personally positive about like how these players will take it going forward. Because again, I think a lot of them are serious about the game, and I think no one who's genuinely serious about the game is going to take this lightly and feel like, oh yeah, I don't care, right? A lot of these players are, planning to take part in PJCS and do well, and I think they would also recognize the fact that it's not serving them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty optimistic about how they will react going forward. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for us. I am looking forward to our stardust bet next week, and
yeah.
We will record before that event goes live, roughly. But just take a screenshot if we somehow record afterward. Oh, our apologies that this episode's coming out a little bit later. Of course, you probably realize this by now. But Anicor is doing some traveling, and I had some computer issues this morning. So, but back to our regular scheduled episodes starting next week. So. Anyway, until then, catch y'all later. Get some stardust. Go find them Aldino nests, and start imagining Anicor dressed as Missy. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, just so you know what you're not gonna see on stage.
I don't know how many times you can say that with a straight face week to week, given that you haven't started.
Because I haven't even started.
Eventually, you're gonna be saying that with like it's like that meme with the mask where there's actually tears streaming behind your face, right?
Look,
with the clown thing too. The clown fit is still part of the bet. When I see you at UIC, I'm happy to pass along the clown makeup, so that way you don't have to buy none of that. At least not the white part. Yeah.
Look, going back to the boxing match. There's got to be a lot of smack talk beforehand. Yeah. Realistically, how can we prove it until we're both in the ring? I ain't even in the ring yet, so
I don't know how fit you've ever been at your peak, but trust me, I'm going to be motivated to work out for this next year. When I walk in, you be like, "Yeah, this is my opponent." I thought you look like you get Poke Games a hard time. I be like, I'm sipping on that same juice he is. I'm just kidding, right? Like, I don't know about Lorenzo's diet or whatever supplements he's taking. So I was just making a joke. That dude's massive, though. So, natural or not, he's huge. People that are unnatural don't even look that big. So, but I'm gonna. I'm gonna be.
It'll be.
I'm not really motivated to like punch you, like you're not like someone I have any beef with, right? Like,
oh, bruv, don't watch it. As soon as I land that first punch, you're gonna be motivated. You're gonna be motivated.
I'm gonna let you land a first punch. But trust me, like I have plenty of motivation to win, regardless, right? But I just don't have the extra motivation, right? Like when I'm training, I'm not thinking about your face. I'm punching. So.
That's fine. That's fine, isn't it? Yeah. Don't worry. I don't know. I'll come up with something really, really offensive.
How tall are you specifically?
I don't really know. I think maybe like. Nah, I have no idea. I think maybe like 6'8". I keep on forgetting.
No. Wait, what? You're 6'8"?
Is that too small? Is that too big? I don't know.
That's okay. I know you all don't use the imperial system, but 6'8" is that's the height of LeBron James. So I know.
Oh, 5'8". My bad. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, you're like, is that short? No, that's pretty much the exact same height as me. So
is it? I feel like I'm probably around that, but I keep forgetting every time.
Well, I mean, I've seen you eye to eye, but I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. How long's your arms? You got long arms or what? Yeah.
No, I have bad reach. I actually have bad reach in comparison to my height. So that's one, like, because I used to box, innit? Yeah. And that was like one of my issues.
Oh, you used to box?
Yeah.
Did you box people or you just like hit a punching bag?
I would spar, but I never did any. I think I did like 1 or 2 actual matches.
Did you ever get knocked out?
Never anything.
What was the record of that? I'm just curious. I haven't done a lot of
first one I did get knocked out.
Okay.
Second one.
What round was it?
Points. It was literally the first. It was like the first round. It was like my first ever match. Like
2 minutes in, you were smiling. Out.
Yeah, I lasted maybe like 60 seconds or something like that. Nah.
Oh, it's a great movie. Hey, we should check it out. But there's Brad Pitt's in it. But he knocked someone out like in the first like punch.
Yeah, I lasted like 60 seconds. It was really bad. The second one, I think I won on points.
I need to last a little longer, man. This can't be a 5-minute charity stream.
Don't worry. This was ages ago. This was like over 10 years ago, isn't it?
You'd be like, this man hasn't even seen my Bastion yet. He's already knocked out cold.
Nah, don't worry. Yeah,
His
it's gonna
shout
be
charge
lit.
are
Yeah.
lasted longer against my bastion
Hey,
than he did against my punches.
hey, I'm. You don't know what you're in for, innit? Yeah, bro. When I say yeah, when I was sparring last year, innit? Yeah, when I was sparring, there were some guys, yeah, who were like literally maybe double my weight, yeah, and had like a good, half a foot on me,
They were doing
yeah.
boxing
That
with
was
you?
Yeah, because we were sparring Muay Thai,
Okay,
but
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
there was like punching and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but let me say, yeah, they were surprised at the power behind those punches. Yeah,
Okay.
like one of the guys, he was actually like one of the main fighters in it. Yeah, I think when he took a punch off me, yeah, he got really like pissed off because he was
Yeah.
like expecting that it wouldn't be thing, and then he
Yeah.
started just going like really ham, and it was
And
not
then you
enjoyable.
got
I can't
the
lie.
crap beat out of you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he was like he started
This is
trying
not
hard in
really
there. I was
pushing
like,
myself. Oh, if I
yeah,
you land one punch, then it's just I'm about to go
yeah,
annihilate
yeah.
on you, right?
Literally,
Yeah.
it was a bit unfortunate. But yeah, just and I ain't even explicitly training for it yet, so you know what I mean. So
Okay, let
yeah,
us know if you like the thoughts down below. If you do, once we get the schedule, I'll reach out to my patron and see if that might be a thing. I don't want to reach out too early, but
yeah,
because it's still ways. I mean, it's not. It doesn't hurt to ask, right? If he says no, he says no.
yeah.
We can
It's
figure out
true,
other
innit?
things.
Yeah,
But
and we got like over a year, or like a year. You know what I mean? Innit? We got time.
oh, I'm
So
gonna be eating good. I'm gonna be eating,
yeah.
sleeping,
Hey,
punching.
you already know I be sleeping. Yeah, you already know I be sleeping.
Yeah, you sleep at your BBL sets. Anyway, we gotta wrap this up. So we'll catch you all next week. Have a go
Nah,
on. Peace
so
out.